Hello and welcome to our live healathon event. I'm Brent Michael Phillips. I will be your host for tonight, where I'm going to guide you on an exciting journey to first discover and then experience for yourself the 7 secrets to higher dimensional living. We've got a lot to do. This is going to be an amazing experience. We've got a lot to cover. So here are the things you're going to experience. First, we'll start off with a little discovery and some demonstrations of these 7 secrets so you know what they are and how they work. You'll get to experience subconscious block clearing. You'll get to experience consciousness shifting. And this is really a rare treat. There's honestly only a few people in the world that know how to do this. And I will be doing it with you here right now in a couple of minutes. I'm going to be doing after that a live healing session. I've taken a volunteer from my VIP club, so I'm going to have a real person with a real problem and show you how to apply these secrets in real time, and you get to follow along and get healed too. How awesome is that? We're going to have an extensive question and answer session at the end. I give you my word, I will stay on as long as it takes to answer all of your questions. We're also going to be giving healings to everybody that requests one. And like the questions, I'm pledging I will stay on as long as it takes tonight to give everybody who requests one a healing. And the last thing we'll do before we finish at the end is a radiation clearing healing. I encourage you to stick around for that. It's a really powerful and important process to clear the harmful radiation that's accumulated both in your body and into your electronics, especially your cell phone. And so let's have some fun. This is a live interactive event. And as part of the webcast, we have both a chat room and a Q&A. And so the chat room, please just jump in right now and say hello. Just let us know your first name and where you're at tonight. We'd love to hear from you. So the Q&A is a separate panel. You'll see that on your webcast. That's if you want to submit specific questions for me or a request for healing. And again, after the presentation, I'll be answering all the questions and doing healings on everybody, and I will stay on as long as it takes. And so during the presentation, I won't be able to interact with you in the chat room because I'm obviously presenting. But I have a few of my assistants and students there. And please, again, say hello. If you have any questions, we're happy to help out. So I am Brent Michael Phillips. I have been called the Miracle Engineer. And so why should you care about this, right? Why do I think I, can change your life so quickly? Well, let me tell you why. It's because I have made it my life's purpose. It is my mission, my quest to help you end your suffering. It's that simple. I've devoted my life to discovering, understanding, and explaining higher consciousness, how to reach your potential and inner power, to uncover and offer to the world the highest truth, to be a guide and a teacher of awakening and embodiment to help everybody accelerate on their journey to enlightenment, to the end of your suffering. That's why we're here. If you've heard of me maybe on the radio or the TV, I'm very pleased that some of the media have actually called me the #1 most powerful American healer and spiritual teacher. By background, I am a software engineer from MIT. And back during the 80s and 90s when I was at MIT, I'm legitimately one of the people that created the modern internet. But the last 15 years plus of my life, I have been a healer, a spiritual teacher, a spiritual coach. I've had over 20,000 students come through my courses. I've facilitated over 18,000 private sessions. And the thing here I am most proud of, I have been able to facilitate over 1,500 miraculous instant healings for my clients. And when I say a miraculous instant healing, I'm not talking about someone who goes, oh, I felt nice energy. I'm talking about things that show up on medical scans that confuse and befuddle doctors. So if you're here to experience and discover the formula for miracles, you're in the right place. You may have heard of me on TV or radio. I've been a frequent guest on both local and national TV and radio. I've also been a frequent guest on a lot of internet telesummits. I've been an expert guest on well over 200 summits, including almost all the big ones, and I've been the most popular and best-selling guest on a lot of them. I am the founder and creator of the Awakening Dynamic System for Personal Transformation. I am a 2-time Amazon #1 best-selling author. And so I know that you want to make the most of our time together. So please, just for the next hour or so, either turn off your cell phone or put it on silent, close or minimize the link, face, twit, gramming app, whatever it is you kids are using this week. Trust me, social media will still be there after we're done here. And I don't want you to be distracted. So, if possible, either mute or turn off your TV. Because again, I want to offer you the fruit of my life's work. I want to give you the keys to the universe. And I know you want to make the most of our time together. So let's jump right into it. I'm here to help you experience miracles. It's that simple. So what's a miracle? Well, quite simply, a miracle is any phenomena that can't be explained by our current level of science and technology. And guess what? You're already living amidst many miracles. You just may not know it. For example, the computer or phone or tablet you're watching this webinar on, that would have been considered a miracle just maybe 100 years ago. Even without a network, electricity is a miracle. Our cars, our houses, the internet, our whole modern world is a miracle. Why? These are things that, again, just 100 years ago would have been considered magical, miraculous, impossible. And so what I want to offer to you is very simple, that the things that we still call miracles, instant healing, the ascension of consciousness, prosperity, finding love, finding purpose, developing razor sharp intuition, even achieving enlightenment, these are all things that are within our grasp now because there really is a formula for miracles. And I'm going to talk a little more about it. But I want you to know this for now. There really is a way to facilitate and invite miracles into your life. And the only reason you haven't learned it yet is simply that you haven't learned it yet. The same reason why we didn't have cell phones and the internet 100 years ago. People hadn't discovered and understood the technology yet. But I've made it my mission, my purpose to spend my life to figure it out, to offer it to you. Because I guarantee in 20, 50, maybe 100 years in the future, instant healings will be considered normal. Profound transformations around money and success will be considered normal. Developing razor sharp intuition will be normal. Why? It's all just technology. And I want to offer you the state of the art technology for miracles. And so you may ask, okay, Brent, that sounds great, but why do people call you the miracle engineer? Great question. I got my background at MIT. When I was growing up, it was my dream to go to MIT because I wanted to be the world's greatest programmer. It was that simple. I'm not sure I ever achieved that goal, but I did go to college at MIT and I discovered the internet. And of course, if that sounds funny today, but back in the 80s, no one had ever heard of the internet. And long story short, I became one of the world's leading internet experts. When I was in graduate school at MIT, I helped to send the first ever live video over the web. I created some amazing real-time applications. I won't geek out on you on all the things I was involved with. Just know that I really am legitimately and truly one of the people that helped to create the internet. And so when I left MIT, I figured, well, heck, I'm going to move to California, start an internet company, and make millions. And you know what? I had a lot of success at first. My very first year out of MIT, I did the very first website for Nissan Motors. I did the very first website for Disneyland. I even did the first website for the launch of the Sony PlayStation in the summer of 1995. So you know what? Things got off to a great start. And you'd think, well, heck, if Brent was such a great background, you went to MIT, you were an internet expert at just the right time, you did these incredible websites, all these high profile projects, you'd be hugely successful, right? Well, you know what? Unfortunately, it went just the other way. I didn't just crash, I burned. My whole life blew up. And so I'm going to go through this quickly because I know a lot of you watching this have already heard my story, but just the basics. When I left MIT, I started a website design company and an online game company. And I figured, well, I'll recruit my lifelong best friend, I'll work really hard for a couple of years, and then sell my companies for millions of dollars. And it got off to a great start. But there was a secret, a dirty little secret, and it was this. In order to create two vast internet companies, things, these things we're doing had never been done before. Fast moving technology. At the beginning of the internet boom, the only reason it happened is because I was working 100 hours a week, literally. It was every day, early morning to late night, 7 days a week, no breaks, no vacations, no holidays. It was nothing but work. And my health started to break down. After a few years of this just brutal work schedule, I started to have some pain and stiffness in my wrist and my elbows and my neck. And then one day it hit me like a ton of bricks. After another long day at the office, I went out to drive home, and my hands were shaking so bad I couldn't get the car open. But I didn't panic. I figured, well, heck, I'll go to the doctors. They'll take care of me. And so, long story short, I spent 3 years in conventional therapy, and I didn't get better. I got worse. My pain got so bad I had to move in with my parents because some days I was in so much pain I had to have my mother cut my food for me. I'm not kidding. I even had a lot of trouble driving. I could only drive 10 or 15 minutes at a time because I'd have to pull over because holding the steering wheel was too painful. But you know what? After 3 years of treatment, I finally got in to see the head doctor at Curlin Job, which is the top physical therapy clinic in Los Angeles, where all the professional athletes and Olympians go. And I was so excited. I'm like, wow, I'm finally going to see one of the best doctors in the world. I know he'll be able to help me. And I walked into his office and he had all my files on his desk and he just looked at me and said, I'm sorry, son, but there's nothing I or any doctor can do for you. You're always going to be in a lot of pain and can never be able to work. And I was dumbfounded. I was like, what? The best doctor in the world is telling me he can't help me? And the last thing he said before I left his office, he said, tell me, son, is there someone that can take care of you until you die? I kid you not. And he put me on permanent disability when I was 27 years old. They actually told me, please don't come back. They didn't want to waste their valuable resources on an impossible case. And so I was devastated. When I told my best friend about this, my business partner, I figured he'd be like, hey, buddy, hang in there. We'll get through it together. Instead, the opposite happened. I was fired from my position at the company. The website company that I had founded, it was my idea. I built it up with my blood, sweat, and tears. Were sold for millions of dollars behind my back. And so I was devastated. What I call the cherry on top of that hot fudge sundae was I also found out that my lifelong best friend and partner had secretly been dating the woman I was in love with. So it was a wipeout, as they say, a dark night of the soul. Everything went wrong. I was in terrible pain. I couldn't work. I was living with my parents. I had no money. I was racking up credit card debt. And I was told that there was no possibility of recovery. And my case was so bad, I was put on permanent disability at 27 and sent home to die. And so I didn't get totally down at first. It seemed like my life was over, but I had a friend of mine get me into positive thinking. And so, long story short, for the next year or so, I became this gung-ho positive thinking warrior. I went to positive thinking weekends and I put power words on my walls and said my mantras and affirmations. And I'd go and jump on the stage and high five my friends and make vision boards and all that kind of good stuff. Well, guess what? It didn't help. I didn't get better. I got worse. I then turned to alternative medicine as I figured, well, maybe this alternative stuff could help, right? And so, long story short, I spent 5 years as a professional patient trying everything, you name it, acupuncture, herbs, homeopathy, osteopathy, craniosacral work, chiropractors, Pilates and yoga, and Reiki healing and pranic healing. And I did all these different cleanses and diets and detoxes and machines and you name it. I didn't get better. I got worse. And things really reached rock bottom in 2003 when I agreed to have an experimental surgery that a doctor thought could help me. I was accepted into the program, and when I woke up after the surgery, instead of being cured of my pain, I found my right arm paralyzed. I couldn't move it at all. And so it was stuck like that for several months. I tried all sorts of manipulations and machines and all that. And it was then that I got turned on to this woman named Terry from my aunt. And she said, hey, Brent, my friend Terry does this New Age healing thing. I think she's a little nuts, but, go ahead and try it. Maybe it could help you. And I went to see Terry, and honestly, I didn't expect her to be able to help me. I had been to like Reiki healers and pranic healers before, and she talked to me a little about the power of the subconscious and how the subconscious blocks can cause health problems, and talked to me about my belief in God and what had happened with my first wife and my best friend, and all the pain I'd been through, and the money I had lost, and all the traumas and such. And it was a very interesting. She did this subconscious block clearing thing, which I'll demonstrate for you in a few minutes. And at the end of our session, she just said, "Okay, Brent, relax. We'll take care of your arm." And I'm like, "Yeah, lady, good luck, right? Give it a shot." And she's sitting across the room from me because this is all done with the mind. There's no hands-on, there's no machines, there's nothing you take, nothing like that. And she just kind of went into a trance. And about a minute later, my elbow went pop. And I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I could move my arm again. And so that was the first miracle. That was a huge turning point in my life where I looked at her and I said, Terry, I don't know what you just did, but I got to learn this. And so that was the day where this MIT engineer decided to become a healer. I wanted to figure out what had happened because I had discovered and experienced a miracle, but I knew it was not a coincidence. I knew that everything acts according to the laws of the universe, and I knew I could find that code. I knew I could figure it out. And so I started on my journey, and I've spent over 15 years, over 20,000 hours, and over $500,000 to work with the master healers, the intuitives, the gurus, the best people in the world. And I have figured out how it all works. I learned their secrets and shortcuts and techniques, and now I'm here to share it with you. And again, it took me a long time, but I think I've cracked the code. There is a formula for spiritual technology, and that's why I'm here tonight with this presentation. I want you to experience this for yourself. One thing I want to emphasize, you may be thinking, okay, Brent, sure, you could do it. You could be a master healer, right? You went to MIT and, you had all this success with all these websites. Well, guess what? I want everyone to know that certainly when I started this, many of my teachers told me I was their worst student ever. Why? I was so stuck in my mind. I couldn't feel at all. MIT had put me so deep in my head, it disconnected me from everything. And truly, one of the miracles of my life is that I could learn this stuff. And I want to be very clear that the reason will be so easy for you is because it was so hard for me. I had to learn all the ins and outs, all the nitty-gritty, all the details in order to figure it out. And because I was so bad at it, you're going to be amazing at it. And so I want to emphasize this because it confirms for me that if I can learn to do this, energy healing, accessing intuition, seeing energy, dissolving pain, experiencing instant healings, you can do this too, guaranteed. And you're going to be able to do it much faster, much more easily, and with a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of the expense and effort that I had to go to. And so remember, when I was 27, I was told my life was over. I was put on permanent disability. I spent years running around for treatments, racking up an enormous credit card debt. I've been through a bankruptcy. I've been through a divorce. I mean, I won't bore you with all the things I've been through. I've had migraines. I had cancer. I mean, on and on and on. And I was able to overcome all of that using the exact system I'm going to share with you tonight. One of the proudest moments of my life was when I got to take my son to see the World Series. Oh my gosh. 20 years ago, I never would have thought that would be possible. But I was able to heal my body, heal my mind, start a new career, make money, find love, start a family, and create an enormous amount of positive change in the world. And that's what I want to share with you. You can see my wonderful family here and my little boy RJ, who's the center of my universe. Just one of the many things I'm not going to talk much about. I was told I could never have children because I had Lyme disease. I had suffered from severe chemical poisoning, a lot of other stuff that I don't want to get into. And he's become the light of my life. But I'm sure you're a lot more interested in what this can do for you. So using these exact same 7 secrets, we're going to be sharing and demonstrating and using with you tonight. Some things other people have done. I mentioned I have helped my clients to experience over 1,500 miraculous instant healings. And again, this is stuff that confounds doctors and shows up on medical scans. I've seen dozens of instant healings from cancer. The most important was my mother. She was diagnosed with clear cell endometrial cancer in 2010. I did one healing session with her, exactly what I'm going to share with you tonight. Again, we're doing a live demonstration in a few minutes. Just like that, from one healing session, all the cancer vanished from her body. When she had the surgery afterwards, her oncologist said, Karen, I've been doing this for over 30 years and I've never seen this happen. Somehow, all the dangerous cancer vanished from your body. Again, that's just one of the many miracles. If you go to my website, you'll see I have hundreds and hundreds of testimonials. This stuff really works. I have helped my clients and students to achieve profound life transformations, especially around money and relationships. Absolutely. And perhaps most importantly, I've helped thousands of people to significantly raise their consciousness, to reduce the amount of suffering they experience, help them move towards enlightenment. And this is the exact system I want to show you right here, right now. And so before we go any further, I want to offer you some hard proof, something more than words and anecdotes, that this really works. And so here's some proof. What I'm going to share with you are some live blood cell analysis pictures. What is that? Well, live blood cell analysis is when they take a drop of your blood and look at it under a microscope, and they can determine the state of your health by how it looks. And so I've had this done a couple times with people before and after my weekend intensive. And so I'm going to show you just a few before and after pictures so you can see for yourself the incredible change that happens in your physical blood by learning these things. Again, that you don't take anything, there's no supplements or special foods or anything. This is just 2 days spent in higher consciousness with me, and this is what happens. And so here's some pictures from Tom. On the left is Tom's blood on Friday afternoon before we started the event. The picture on the right is the same person's blood 2 days later on Sunday. And the only difference is you spent 2 days with me immersed in this energy of higher consciousness. That's it. And this is the incredible physical change that happens. And you don't have to be a live blood cell analyst to see this is pretty phenomenal, huh? This is the change that happens within the cells of your body when you're exposed to this energy. There's another few pictures from a woman, Nicole. Again, the picture on the left is her blood on Friday before we started the event. And on the right is her blood on Sunday, just 2 days later. And I've done this several times with different live blood cell analysts. All of them have told me the same thing. They say, Brent, I can't believe this. Normally, to see this much change in someone's blood takes at least 6 months of special diets, supplements, meditation, and detoxifying. We can do it in 2 days, just with the energy of higher consciousness. This really is the formula for miracles. Here's just one more. Here's Tony. Here's her blood on Friday before the event started on the left, and there's her blood on Sunday after the event. All this done just in a 2-day training. Pretty incredible, huh? So there's some hard proof that what we're doing here creates incredible positive change in every cell of your body. I know you want to experience that. I know you want your mind and body to be sharper, healthier, stronger, more powerful, and I'm here to help you. And so, quite simply, there are 7 secrets to miracle consciousness. Just 7 things you need to know in order to experience this kind of change, to watch your blood transform, to experience instant healings, to change the direction of your life. And I'll talk just very quickly about all of them. We have instant healings, we have communicating with the subconscious mind, the development of intuition, uh, clearing subconscious blocks, what I call subconscious recoding. We have theta wave manifesting, meaning how to use a waking theta brain state to send a signal out to the universe to bring things into your life. We have embodiment, and I'll talk a little more about this. This is a huge missing piece in many of the systems and programs I've studied. We do that through consciousness shifting, which we're going to do here in a few minutes, and movement feedback holography, which I'm going to show you a demonstration of. And lastly, there is awakening. the deepest spiritual truth, discovering you. So let's talk all about them in order. Secret number one, instant healing. This is the exact same process I used to deliver over 1,500 miracles to my clients. This is the exact same process I'll be using for everyone tonight that requests a healing from me. And so what I want to do is offer a quick case study here from a man named Aristotle. He came to one of my courses not long ago, and I want to show you a short video of what happened to him right after he went through it. So let's turn it over to Aristotle here for a short time.
Hi, my name is Aristotle Karras. I wanted to give a testimonial for my friend Brent Phillips. That I just took his class, Awakening Dynamics. It was probably the most in-depth healing workshop that I've ever taken. It, it was so profound because it gave you real tools that you were able to use right away. One of the students in the class, besides myself, we ended up knowing each other and from another event, and we called each other a couple of days later after class, and she happened to fall down and hit her head. And I said, "Hey, do you mind if I do some casework on you?" And she goes, "Absolutely, please." And within minutes, she was having her head ache and trauma that she had go away. And I've had amazing experiences since then, been able to work on myself, work on my family. I just cannot say enough about Brent Phillips and what a gift he is to the world, and his skills and his level of teaching. Just the handouts alone were just epic.
So there you have it from Aristotle. Next, I want to share with you a case study from one of my students who recently came to the course. I haven't had a time to get his video yet, but this is what he told me. In his words, he said, "I didn't do my first healing until 6 months after I'd taken your course, when my mother was diagnosed with leukemia. She was taken to Georgetown University, one of the best hospitals, and told she had 2 weeks to live. They sent her home with some medications and a very small chance of survival." And Anthony goes on to say, "I wasn't sure if I was ready, but with your block clearing, I was confident in my training." So he did a healing on her. The same process I'm going to demonstrate for you in a few minutes. And then he says, this week she returned to the hospital and they found no trace of the big C. She's 100% healed. And I wanted to share this with you because this is someone that just went through the weekend training, didn't even use it for 6 months, and experienced a miracle and saved his mother's life. This really happened. And I know you want to learn this. I know you want to have this power, this ability. I mean, after all, if you can just do one awesome healing like this, even if it's just one for the rest of your life, isn't it worth it? Isn't it worth the time and the energy times 1,000, a million? I think so. And so, again, these are, I'm showing these because these are things that my students did. All they did was go through the first training. That's it. So on to the second secret, body intelligence. One of the most important things I want to share with you is how to bypass the conscious mind in order to get a direct hotline to your body's intelligence, to the subconscious mind. And so here's how it works. The mind lies. The mind can deceive you. What we say, what we write, it can be deceiving. However, when you know how to communicate with the body, it always tells the truth. And there's a couple of ways we use this. One is how to identify the codes in the subconscious. You'll see me using this in the live healing we're going to do in a few minutes. Another way is through the movement feedback holography. We actually learn how to read the energy patterns coming off the body through movement. And so this is really important stuff. When you learn how to communicate directly with the body, you will discover the deepest truths and you will be able to move your life forward. On to secret number 3, intuition. Part of my mission is to show everyone how to access their intuition. And this is so important because everybody can do it. Trust me, it took me years and years of practice to figure it out. And if I can do it, MIT engineer stuck deep in his head, if I can do it, you can too. Because intuition is your connection to the higher power. It is your higher intelligence. And guess what? The odds don't matter when you have a strong intuitive connection. Intuitively, you can learn the right house to buy, the right stocks to buy, the right foods to eat, the right people to associate with. This is a life changer, and I would love to share this with you. But don't take my word for it. I'm going to share with you a quick case study here from a woman named Felicia and how she came through this training and the incredible results she experienced about how it turbocharged her intuition. So let's turn it over to Felicia here.
Hey Brent, this is Felicia here. As a result of taking the class, being a level 1 Formula for Miracles practitioner, I am able to heal people instantly. As a result of that, my income has increased by at least 20%, and I launched a radio show that Sunday night, and so I would like for you to be on the show. And so I am just so grateful and thankful that I am a part of your tribe and will continue to be, because I do intend to take the next set of classes. So that's what Formula for Miracles has done for me. It personally has changed my life. The Unleashing Your Inner Millionaire helped me to overcome some negative thoughts about money and um, success. Um, what else? Some generational curses. And I mean, it was instant. And I saw results after that. Like I said, my income increased 20%, my confidence increased, my self esteem, how I, knowing that I am more than enough, even my intuitiveness increased. So I'm stepping back into my power. I am my power. And I'm grateful and thankful.
So there you go. A little bit from Felicia about her experience. Now we're going to move on and talk to you about secret number 4, subconscious recoding. And this is really important because this is the way we clear out the blocks. I'm going to show you how to find the subconscious blocks, how to clear them, and how to install new code into your subconscious. And I have highly optimized this technology. I've used everything I learned at MIT to make it so fast, so easy, so powerful that everyone that comes through the training learns how to clear subconscious blocks on the second day in just seconds. Guaranteed. Everybody. And this is literally rewriting the software of your life. I call it the software of your soul. And by learning to identify and clear these blocks and add in new code to the subconscious, you can completely change your life. Literally, how it works is we all have programs inside of us for every area of your life, just like a computer. You have a program for your career, your physical health, your emotional health, your love life, your intuition, your sense of purpose, your friendships, everything, even your level of happiness, you have a program for. And I want to show you how to change those programs, how to improve them. And I want to do a couple demonstrations here so you can see exactly what this looks like. I am going to be doing a live healing demonstration in just a few minutes, but right now I want to start by showing you a demonstration. This was recorded live at one of my weekend workshops with a man named Michael. And I want you to see a miracle happen during the healing session. And I'm going to show you just a little bit of it here. Anyone that's interested, I have the full video I'd be happy to share with you. It's about 15 minutes to watch the full session. But he came to my workshop. I picked him out of my crowd. We did 15 minutes of healing, and this is what it looks like. So we'll turn it over here. I'll give you just a little demonstration of what this. Let's check. I have to quit my job to make more money.
I have to quit my job to make more money.
Good. You have your own company or a job or?
Own company.
Okay. I have to start a different company to make more money.
I have to start a different company to make more money.
No. Okay. You may want to. We just don't want to make you think you have to.
Okay.
Let's check. I have to take a huge risk to make more money.
I have to take a huge risk to make more money.
Okay. Let's clear that. Okay.
Okay.
I have to take a huge risk to make more money.
I have to take a huge risk to make more money.
Good.
Okay.
I have to know how it's going to happen first.
I have to know how it's going to happen first.
No. Good. I'm open to Creator's plan for my life.
I'm open to Creator's plan for my life.
Good. I can be happy no matter how much money I make.
I can be happy no matter how much money I make.
Nope. Want to shift that?
Might as well, yeah.
It's okay. I can be happy no matter how much money I make.
I can be happy no matter how much money I make.
Good. I can take care of my family no matter how much money I make.
I can take care of my family no matter how much money I make.
Good. I am comfortable in my new energy.
I'm comfortable with my new energy.
Good. My body is comfortable with its new energy.
My body is comfortable with its new energy.
All right. All set. Good work. Yay. Congratulations, sir. So there you go. That's what it looks like. And in a few minutes, I'll show you from Michael in his own words what happened afterwards. But let's keep moving. We've got a lot to cover. Secret number 5, theta wave manifesting. And so this is a really important tool because this is how we bring things into our life, right? We manifest. But you may be thinking, hey, Brent, whoa, pump the brakes. That sounds to me like the law of attraction. And I've done a lot of law of attraction stuff. Maybe you spent a lot of money on it and didn't get a lot of results. And so I'm going to answer that. What is the law of attraction? Well, the law of attraction tells us that what you focus on tends to show up in your life, right? If you focus on being positive, being wealthy, you'll tend to have a happy, prosperous life. If you're focused on problems and negativity and scarcity, you'll get more of that. So that's what the law of attraction is. But of course, most of us who have done law of attraction stuff, maybe you're like me and you went to all these different programs and seminars and intensives and retreats. You may have spent a lot of money on it without seeing a lot of positive change. Well, there's actually a study that was done, and it showed over 99% of people that used the law of attraction felt they got bad results. That's pretty awful, right? That the typical law of attraction has a 99% failure rate. Well, guess what? There's a reason for that. It's because many of us are full of subconscious blocks. And using this technology, what I just showed you in the little demo with Michael, you can change that. You can have a much higher success rate, but only if you have the right technology. Otherwise, you can throw away $1 million on coaches and positive thinking weekends. It's not going to do anything. But there is a secret. I want to help you make that breakthrough. You may say, okay, Brent, what about that 1% of people that do use the law of attraction and are successful, right? Like a lot of the people teach in the seminars and sell in the books. Well, that's because there's about 1% of us that are naturally clear of subconscious blocks. So, you get 200 people in a room, on average, 2 of them will have success. But I want to do much better. I want to show you how to raise the success rate dramatically with the right technology. Because for me, remember, I spent about a year on this positive thinking path, going to all these programs and seminars and coaches, ran up a huge amount of credit card debt, and it did nothing for me. Why? I was full of subconscious blocks. That's the difference Terry made for me. With this technology, you can clear your blocks. You can actually get results. So let me emphasize, the law of attraction won't work until you can clear your blocks. And so good news is, in just a few minutes, I'm going to be doing, again, a live healing demonstration of what we call digging, of taking a real person with a real problem and helping them to very quickly, it'll probably be 30 minutes or less, identify and clear the huge blocks that have been holding them back. So you're going to get to see me do that live. Again, remember, 99% of our power is locked up in the subconscious. That's huge, right? And so in order to access that power, we need to use the theta wave. And so the keys to having success with manifesting are very simple. 1, you need the technology of the theta wave. I'm going to offer that to you and make it really, really easy. And 2, you need to clear your subconscious blocks. You do that, the theta wave is like this magical key that unlocks the power of the subconscious mind. It's pretty amazing. And so remember Michael from a few minutes ago? Well, in that little block clearing session you saw, now I'm going to show you in his words what happened in his life just a few days later. This has actually happened literally the day after the weekend course. So we'll turn it over to Michael again.
In September, Brent called me up and we did some digging. You may notice in the manifesting in your booklet we just did, it said if you had a manifest that showed up tonight, come and let us know tomorrow, which triggered my thoughts about this story. Well, Brent did the digging on me. We went through financial prosperity. Very intuitive, very good session. But I remember at the end he said something like, okay, now the money can flow to you. Let's bump it up a bit and have some good money come in. So I went home. My pot of gold was not sitting there on my front doorstep. So I didn't have a story the next day. And the day after that, it was still pretty much life as usual. However, well, let me tell you, I was at one point the director of computing for a good chunk of the UCLA campus. It was back in the mid-90s. I left there in 96. Well, on Monday, I had a letter from the University of California saying that they had money for me. As a matter of fact, it was over a 6-figure check, and they wanted to know if I wanted them to process and send it to me. They'd been trying to find me and they finally located me. So I thought about this because I told Brent I thought he was slipping there. It took so long for that money to show up, but I had to give him a break because we figured out there was no mail delivered on Sunday. So the check showed up on Monday.
Yep.
Well, the letter showed up on Monday, so all I had to do was request the check.
Yep. Pretty incredible, huh? And of course, I have to emphasize, I can't promise everyone's going to get that result. Not everyone that comes through this training has over $100,000 show up out of nowhere on Monday. But this really happened, and it's because we applied these technologies. We used the theta state, we cleared his blocks, and boom, his life transformed. Over $100,000 showed up the day after. I think that's pretty amazing. But on to secret number 6, which is embodiment. And this is important because this is a huge missing piece in almost everything I have studied. And so what does this mean? Well, what is embodiment? Well, quite simply, embodiment is going beyond learning spiritual teachings to living them. And so embodiment is the difference between reading a book about how to swim and actually jumping in the water and swimming. And this is what I want to do for you with the energy healing, the law of attraction, the higher consciousness. Of course, I'm going to show you the best technology and explain it to you, but I'm also going to give you the experience of it, because I don't just want to talk to you about this stuff. I want you to experience it for yourself. And this is huge, huge, huge. The embodiment is what made the biggest difference in my life, in awakening and embodiment. When I first started the embodiment through the movement, which we'll demonstrate in a second, I literally more than doubled my income in less than 6 months. And it kept rising after that. So that this is no joke, that this is enormous. Because embodiment turbocharges your abilities, whether it's for healing, for manifesting, for intuition, for purpose, for making a difference in the world. This is a huge spiritual turbocharger. And there's 3 primary techniques we use for this. One is movement feedback holography, where we read the energy pattern on people doing special movements, and I entrain them into the quantum field to reprogram those patterns, and I'm going to demonstrate that. We also do it through consciousness shifting, which we'll do also in a few minutes right here on this webinar, as well as brainwave synchronization, which is a little more advanced. And just know that without embodiment, you cannot fully activate the law of attraction. And there's very few people out there that really know what they're doing and how to teach this. Good news is, I think you found one of them. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to show you just a little clip of a real-life movement feedback holography session with Jake. And this, again, was recorded live at one of my weekend intensives. And I think it'll be much easier for you to see what it is rather than me trying to talk about it. So here we go. Let's turn it over to Jake for.
Wow, it's his left and right side are totally split. It's like there's a barrier down the middle of his body, and the left and right are not cooperating. They're oddly in sync.
Very much in sync, yeah.
They're very much in sync. But I see like this big barrier right down the middle.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's like dividing you in half.
It's hard to see it from the side, but I can see it on the camera view. It's like a 1 foot wide barrier between the two.
There's also a little bit of frustrated loss, not sure where to go. That's showing up? Yeah. That he has energy, but he feels like what he's doing doesn't really matter. That's just wrong and bad. Show us the bully, the brute.
Yeah. Oh, wow. See the
oh, boy.
power? Oh, wow. I think the room is shaking.
Yeah. It felt like a wave of force flew off of you.
Oof, there's some power there.
You see how much sadness is coming up? That's okay. Go with the sadness. The sadness will set you free of all this.
That's pulling in towards him a lot more.
Yeah.
The energy's coming in.
You can feel how powerful he is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is really good.
Oh, yeah.
You see,
and even though he's sitting, it's moving through his whole body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like a power that's flowing from top to bottom.
Can you see his vision turn on? You can see he has huge vision. There's so much wisdom in there.
Pretty cool stuff, huh? It may seem a little strange if you've never seen this before, but the movement is probably the most profound and powerful technique that I've experienced to move yourself forward. And I know you want to experience that too. And we do it all in the first weekend intensive. But I want to still cover secret number 7, awakening, which I've saved for last because it is the deepest, the most challenging, but also the most rewarding. And so, what is awakening? Well, first, let me tell you what it's not. When I say awakening, I'm not talking about learning about energy healing or the law of attraction or intuitive readings. That's good stuff. What I'm talking about is something very specific. When I say awakening, I mean coming to a crystal clear understanding of what you are, this awareness, and how that's completely different than you as the separated ego. And the awakening is so important. This was such a huge change in my life. And this is not something Brent invented. This has been around for thousands and thousands of years. In the Eastern traditions, this is considered the highest study there is, what's called Jnana Yoga, the yoga of wisdom. In the West, we call it non-duality. In the East, it's called Advaita Vedanta. But this is the deepest truth. This is truly all of these things and more. Awakening is the beginning of the end of suffering. It is the key to penetrating and releasing attachment. It is your personal spiritual turbocharger. By learning to penetrate and release attachment, to be present, to drop in, you will become so much more powerful doing healings, doing manifesting, doing everything in your life. This is the secret of higher consciousness, and many have referred to it as the foot in the door to enlightenment. There's one path to enlightenment through higher consciousness in terms of how we map the progress, and that path goes right through awakening. There is no enlightenment without awakening. Without awakening, there will always be suffering, no matter how rich or powerful or healthy you are. And so I want to give you all of this. And so without further ado, I want to move ahead so everyone can actually experience higher consciousness. Enough talking about it for now. I want you to experience this. And so we're going to spend a few minutes doing what I call the consciousness shifting process. For many people, you will start to see energy and auras with your open eyes. Now, it doesn't happen for everyone the first time. For some people, you may need repeated exposures. And for some, it's more intense than for others. But for many, this will unlock your ability to see energy and auras with your open eyes. If that happens for you, please let us know in the chat room. We'd love to hear from you. Another purpose of this is by moving you into a higher place of consciousness, it can help to dissolve pain and discomfort. So if you're in any kind of pain right now, it could be physical pain, emotional pain, doesn't matter, financial pain, what you'll notice is afterwards, it will lessen. It may still be there a little bit, it may be completely gone. We'll see what happens. But higher consciousness can dissolve any pain. It really can, and I want to show you so you can experience this for yourself. The most important reason I do this is I want to give you a little taste of awakened consciousness. It's like talking about orange juice. I could talk to you all day about it, but it's no substitute for taking a sip. This is the closest thing I found to giving you a little taste of awakened consciousness. What we're going to do is really to crank up the volume of okayness in your life and the world. Because guess what? 3 minutes from now, you're going to be in the same body, the same family, the same job, the same financial situation. But guess what? When you can raise your consciousness, everything will seem more okay. You will be empowered to take action that will make a difference. And this is really important. Everything will seem more okay. That frees you up your power for positive change. So, some warnings. If you go deep into this, you may see faces disappear. If you're looking at my picture, you may see my face fade away and others show up. If it does, great. What you're seeing is me in other incarnations, what we call past life memories. Don't panic, not everyone sees it. But if you do, that's what's happening. You're seeing beyond the veil. If you go very deep, you may seem like the whole room is fading away. That's incredible if you can do it. Don't worry. Again, that's wonderful. It means you're really getting it. You may also notice that objects that seem to be that you know are stationary seem to be moving. There is an illusion of movement. If you see that, great, you're on the right track. And just know that you don't have to have any visual experience to get benefit. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for about 3 minutes here, and I'm going to draw you into this place of higher consciousness. And I'm going to talk just a little bit because I want everyone to know I'm here with you. But I'm not going to talk nonstop because I can go deeper into the quantum field with you when I'm not speaking. So again, I'm just slowly going to entrain you into the zone. If you're not sure what to do, just look at my left eye on the picture. So here we go. And I'll just talk a little so you know I'm here. And what I'm doing is entraining you into the quantum field. We're literally seeing beyond the veil, the illusion of our physical reality, to see the truth underneath. Not everyone gets the visual effects, at least at first. And I'll stick with it, you will. You might see the white aura appear. If you're really good, you may see the colors too. Try to minimize your blinking. Don't force your eyes open, but the less you blink, the deeper it's possible to go into the quantum field. You may notice things getting blurry. That's good. That means you're getting it. And so I'm going to just go quiet here to go a little deeper into the field with everybody. Don't worry, I'm going to be here the whole time. So we'll do just a little more here. All right, and then I'll gently bring everyone back to normal, whatever that is, huh? Excellent. So remember, the goal there is just to give you a little taste of higher consciousness. And a lot of us are unconsciously resistant to that. If we're really stuck in the ego, it's not your fault. It takes a little while to pull out of it. And so I hope you had some great experiences. Please let me know in the chat room. Let us know. Were you able to see my aura? Did you see anything moving around? Did you see other faces? And more importantly, do you feel everything's a little more okay? This is higher consciousness, less suffering. So if you experienced anything, less pain, more spaciousness, everything's more okay, please let us know in the chat room. We'd love to hear from you. And so I'm going to offer one super fast case study from Deborah about her experience diving in and learning this stuff. And so we'll turn it over to Deborah. So here we go.
Hi, my name is Deborah. I was a student of Brent's this past year, and I'd like to sincerely thank him for all that he taught me in his Awakening Dynamics Level 1 course. Prior to that, I had been in the technical field for 21 years, and I had to leave in 2014 due to chronic fatigue syndrome. This was mostly stress related for me, And, being the left brain logical person that I was, I decided that I was going to take a leap of faith and leave my job and go ahead and work on the physical. And I didn't really have a lot of concepts in the metaphysical world. So about a year and a half later, I was kind of in the same predicament. And I was spinning my wheels, and I was really feeling hopeless. And then I learned about Brent on a teleseminar in 2015 of December. And he spoke about his story, which I related to because we're both technical. And he talked about some concepts that I wasn't familiar with in the metaphysical world. And so I was really intrigued, skeptical but intrigued, because I had tried so much more before that. And so I took a leap of faith with him, and I went ahead and enrolled in his course in January. And he taught me that everything up here really does shape how we see our world. So he showed us the tools to simply access that information of these limiting beliefs. And he showed me how to reprogram them in a very simple and elegant manner. So, and I'm really thrilled because, about 8 months later, life is just so different now. And I'm just so excited because I'm about to start a holistic business. And, my health is just improved significantly. So I'm really sincerely grateful to Brent for getting that information out there, and especially for people like myself who are very technically oriented, because he made it so easy to understand all these metaphysical concepts, and he really opened up my world. So thank you so much, Brent.
All right, so thank you to Deborah for sharing with us. Now I have a question. Is this for you? Are you open to the possibility that a genuine spiritual awakening is the gateway to finally live the life that you know you deserve? Is this for you? I think you want to deepen your understanding, to awaken the unlimited healing energy within you. And who's interested in discovering the secrets hidden in the ancient mystery schools? I am very lucky that my teacher gave me permission to share these with the world, unfiltered, to give you the purest, the most powerful teachings that for thousands of years you could only learn at the highest levels of the ancient mystery schools. And so are you ready? Are you ready to leave your old life behind? Are you ready to move into the higher dimensions, to experience the power, the fulfillment, the joy that comes with knowing how to use and apply all these things? We know that you were created to lead an extraordinary life. And I'm confident you'll agree this program is the key to unlocking your authentic power. And so for any program, no matter what it is, if you want to learn karate, if you want to learn surfing, a language, learn to play guitar, energy healing, you name it, for any program to be effective, there must be 3 core components. Number 1, you want to learn from cutting edge yet proven content. That's important. You want the best stuff available, but you need to know what works. Number 2, you need supervised practice with masters. This is important. This is why you can't learn energy healing or karate from a book. You need to have supervised practice with people who really know what they're doing. And lastly, you need ongoing support. You need a community. You need an opportunity for deep discovery. What this will not be is, come through a seminar, get a rubber stamp certificate, and be thrown to the street. No. I'm going to give you a lot of ongoing support, community opportunities to get help, to practice, to go deep into the topics you're interested in. And so the Secret to Higher Dimensional Living Weekend Intensive is truly the culmination of my life's work. It is an in-depth live training with lots of hands-on exercises to take you deep into every aspect of this formula for miracles. You will learn and use all of these secrets: instant healing, communicating with the body intelligence, developing, refining intuition, learning to do subconscious block learnings and downloads, theta wave manifesting, embodiment through movement, through consciousness shifting, as well as awakening. All of these things are covered in depth. And it starts with a 2.5-day workshop. You can join us live in Los Angeles when there's space in the room, or it's always available through online live video streaming. It is a step-by-step process to raise you into higher consciousness. And I guarantee if you haven't started your awakening process, we will start it. If you have already started it, we will accelerate it. We will show you how to quickly identify and clear subconscious blocks. That's the demonstration I'm going to do live in a few minutes. I'm going to show you how to do all this, how to find the core. Quite simply, I'm going to give you all my best tips and processes and shortcuts, the exact same system I've used to create over 1,500 miracles for my clients. You're going to get all of that handed to you on a silver platter. Lots of hand-on development. And this course is packed with value. I know a lot of weekend seminars and trainings that may have one good idea or technique that they fill with fluff and expand out to a weekend. That's not this. You will see, you will get a life-changing insight, technique, idea, teaching every 5 or 10 minutes. There will be dozens of things, any one of which could totally change your life. And to make sure you don't miss anything, you get a very detailed manual. It's over 100 pages long, a full recording of the entire event, so you can go through it again as many times as you like, all included, as well as an option for professional certification. Also included is 90 days on the house access to my exclusive silver level VIP club. With silver level, you get access to regular practice groups. We usually do them every week. Live practice groups. You can join us, ask questions, practice what you learned, get healings. It's phenomenal. Every month I do a live demonstration and give away a private session to a member. There's a good chance you'll win. If you stay in the club and apply, everyone that stays in and applies wins free sessions with me. I do regular live block clearing and Q&A sessions. There's a huge archive of private one-on-one sessions you can listen to learn, to get more healing, to go deeper, as well as what I call my deep learning masterclasses. And so there's many of these. These are just a sample. There's over 40 on the site. They are masterclasses of high-def video trainings and PDF workbooks on all these different subjects. And this is just a few examples. Happiness, fear, anger, addiction, confidence, emotional eating, awakening, self-esteem, brain optimization, forgiveness, understanding personality types, dissolving pain, and there's a lot more. This is just a sample. All this is included. You get all of this, which I think is pretty amazing. And so you may ask, okay, Brent, what's this going to cost? All right, I'm going to answer you. Now, the truth is, I spent over 10 years and over $500,000 going around to all these different gurus and masters and healers and intuitives and workshops and intensives to reverse engineer their secrets. And if you've been around the new age world for a little while, self-improvement, that you know there are plenty of $10,000 plus workshops and coaching programs that do not deliver anywhere near either the quality or the amount of content and hands-on experience you're going to get here. I know this because I've been through a lot of these programs. I've spent an enormous amount of money going around to some very well-known people. And I can guarantee you what I'm offering is so much more value. It's crazy. And so the full price, if you add up everything that's included, is actually only $6,612, which honestly, even at that price point, this is the best investment of your life. To learn how to live in the higher dimensions, to do instant healings. I mean, from my experience alone, there have been many lives saved and many more transformed. How much is that worth? You're going to get all of this, and I want to make it a no-brainer. I really want you to go through this program. So I'm going to drop the price all the way down to $497, or there's a payment plan available if you prefer that. And so you get the full 2.5-day live or online weekend intensive. You get a very extensive manual, a recording of the entire event, and an option for professional certification, as well as silver level in my VIP club for 90 days. 90 days of community, practice groups, block clearing calls, Q&A sessions, opportunity for deep learning, plus a whole longer list of bonuses I don't want to get into now because I want to get into our live healing. But all this is included, and I'm discounting it over 90% because I want to make this an easy decision. This should be a no-brainer. I'm also going to let you know that I'm going to take away all the risk in terms of the money. There is a 100% no questions asked money back guarantee. So I don't want there to be any risk on your part. If you think this won't be as good as I say, come see for yourself. If you disagree, you can have your money back. And it is a conditional money back guarantee with a simple condition. All you need to do is attend the entire first day of the training, either live at the hotel or online. That's it. If you attend the entire first day, just 4 hours, and you don't like it for any reason, you can get 100% of your money back, no questions asked. And you can keep the bonuses, which I don't want to talk about now. There's so many bonuses, it's crazy. Maybe I'll talk about them after the live healing. So no financial risk to you, 100% money back guarantee. it is a condition that you must come to the first day of the live training just 4 hours. Because I know that when you see how powerful this is, how valuable it is, you're going to want the whole thing. I have total confidence in that. And so I encourage everyone, if you see the value here, which I hope you do, I know you want this, register now. There should be a little button beneath your webcast that says, yes, transform my life. Just click on that. It'll take you to a page with some more information about it. And then you can go ahead and check out, and you'll get everything showed up right in your web browser as well as in your email. Just let us know if you're coming live or online, and we'll take it from there. I think you'll be amazed. And so I know that many of you are ready to invest now. If you see the value here that I do, I know you want to do this. Just click the button on the webcast that says, yes, transform my life. I'm going to give everyone a minute here that wants to go do that. And if you want to stick with us, don't worry. Next is our live healing demonstration. So if anybody has any specific questions for me, please put them into the Q&A. I'll answer all the questions at the end. I will also be doing healings on everybody. If you have any healings you'd like to request, put them into the Q&A. But right now, what I want to do is transition to our live healing demonstration. And so what I've done is I've selected one of the members from my VIP club, and I give away a private session like this every month to a member. And we broadcast it through a call like this so other people can listen in. However, I want you to know that you're not just listening. I'm also including you in all the healings I'm doing. And so all the block clearings we're doing, all the downloads, all the trauma clearings, all the healings, I will also be giving to you. So it's entirely optional, but if you know how to do muscle testing and you want to follow along and check yourself for the blocks, I will also be sending you all the same clearings and healings. So I encourage you to at least listen, if not follow along. I think you'll get tremendous value, even if you're not the person I'm working with. So let's go and make sure they are on the line right here, and we will transition in, and you will actually get to see me do some live healing on a real person with a real problem. All right, Rayanne, let's turn on our microphones and cameras, and we'll get started. All right, we have Rayanne with us here, and she is one of our gold level VIP clubs and a member of the Awakening Intensive. And so she has won this month's free private session giveaway, which we're doing here as part of the healathon. So welcome, Rayanne.
Thank you.
So I know that you've been through all the different levels of trainings.
Yes.
And normally in a private session, I would start with a little introduction and foundational work. We're going to skip all that because you know all that stuff.
Yes.
So let's just jump right in and get to the good stuff. What would you like to focus on today?
I guess let's do more on money.
Okay. All right. Let's want to.
Can we do that? Yeah.
Sure. Valid topic. What would you like to focus on in terms of money?
So I'm finding that when it comes to me, I have a hard time. Well, I do. It's like, it feels like I know I have to circulate it, but then it feels like I want to like hold on to it. So there's still like that lack, feeling of lack, like, oh my goodness, what if it doesn't come back?
All right. So sort of some beliefs around hoarding money, you need to hold on to it, afraid to make investments and spend.
Right. I mean, I've taken risk, and now it's becoming to the level where it's like, you got to do more. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to do more.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll definitely dig into that. I want you to know, this is actually a great topic for a session like this, because this is something that affects a lot of people. I say it affects most people.
Yeah.
And I'll just let you know from my personal experience, if I look back at my life, the times when I was trying really hard to save money is when my life did this financially, right?
Yeah.
That it's not a bad idea, maybe cut back on Starbucks or something, right?
Right.
Maybe instead of that first class hotel, you go for, something a little more reasonable. But if you trying to save money is not a strategy for prosperity. At least I haven't found it works.
Mm-hmm.
Another example would be charitable giving. A lot of people, it's natural if you're falling on difficult times financially to cut back on that. A lot of people stop giving to charity.
Yeah.
Or stop self-improvement or stop anything they see like that. I would just encourage everyone, when things are rough for you or you're not sure how to grow financially, that's the time you need to double down on those investments. You need to give more money to charity.
Yeah.
You need to invest more in your self-improvement, right?
I agree.
Not buying junk that you don't need.
Right.
Right? Buying a bigger TV is a nice luxury. It's not going to make you money, right?
Yeah, totally.
Exactly. So, that being said, have you always felt this way, or did it start at a certain point in your life?
I think I'm finally noticing it even more because I've been doing this work since level 1. And I find that now there's been an expansion in my business, and so more money has to be put out. And so I'm like, whoa, okay. So it's not a level of like, and it's like, it's crazy because there's no difference really from before. Like, you have to buy, it's just like, it just feels like now you have more money, you have more expenses, basically. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So instead of spending $1,000, now you're looking at spending $5,000, and it's like,
right.
Yeah.
Just the numbers get bigger and it gets a little scary if you're not used to it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And
Okay.
and so it's coming up now where it's like before it was like little amounts, and so it didn't really seem much, but it's really the same thing. It's just a different number.
Okay. So a couple things to know, that then we'll look at some beliefs around this. First is, I sense some of this is ancestral for you. My guess is your parents behaved this way to some extent with money.
Yeah.
There was some fear going beyond a certain place.
Yep.
Right. It was okay to spend X dollars a month. It was not okay to spend 2X or 3X dollars a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, my sense is that's where we're going with this. The other is, this is a good problem, right? That you've gone through the training starting with level 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've actually done the work, right?
Yeah.
And things have opened up and your business has grown.
Yeah.
So, that's significant. So this is a good problem. There are a lot of problems that comes with success, and this is one of them.
Yes. And that's what I'm noticing. It's like, like that's the saying, like, more money, more problems. And it's not really more problems. It's
different problems.
Yes, exactly.
Just different. I mean, if I had to put it very concisely, I would say that when you're broke, you have a very small number of really big problems.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh God, I have no money. I can't pay the rent. I can't buy food, right? You have a small number of problems, but they're really big and urgent.
Yes.
The more you climb financially, the problems get smaller, but you get more of them.
Yep.
So maybe now you're in the place where instead of having a small number of huge problems, you have a larger number of medium-sized problems.
Yeah.
And as you get wealthier and wealthier, you will have more and more problems, but they get smaller and smaller for the most part. So I'm oversimplifying a little, but that's usually how it goes. So let's do a little digging on this. Go ahead and calibrate your muscle test. Check yes and no.
Okay, I'm gonna stand up for this.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
And you might not see me on the screen. Is that okay? Do you need to see me on the
let's
screen?
do the best we can. Let's do the best we can.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
Go ahead and say yes. Okay. And say no.
Good.
Okay. So if you check, I'm afraid to spend money.
I'm afraid to spend money.
Okay. It's safe for me to spend $1,000 a month.
It's safe for me to spend $1,000 a month. Yes.
Okay. So just for those that weren't watching closely, she tested no to it's safe for me to spend money. So that's I think the biggest block we want to get her past right here today. It's safe for me to spend.
It's safe for me to spend. Okay. Can I do that again?
But let's go. It's safe for me to spend $5,000 a month.
It's safe for me to spend $5,000 a month.
Okay.
Yes.
It's safe for me to spend $10,000 a month.
It's safe for me to spend $10,000 a month.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Where does it get really uncomfortable for you?
Maybe 35,000.
Okay. It's safe for me to spend $35,000 a month.
It's safe for me to spend $35,000 a month.
Okay.
No.
All right. Is it possible for you to angle your camera up a little bit so everyone can see you?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay. There we go. That'll work. All right. So what's not safe about that? What's not safe about spending lots of money?
I don't know. And that's the thing, is like, I feel like there's no difference with spending 10 and 20. It just depends on where you spend it. So if I'm spending $35,000 in my business and getting it back, there's no difference than spending 20, you know?
Well, that's a nice answer from the mind. And
Yeah.
everything you're saying is correct.
Yeah.
But you see how that answer is right out of the mind.
Uh-huh.
So how does it feel when you think about spending 30, 40, 50 grand a month, writing those big checks, watching that much money move in and out of your bank account?
My mind says it feels good, but I'm like, that's kind of scary.
Okay. What's the scariest thing about it?
I guess that I would not get it back.
Okay, good. Let's check. If I spend too much money, it will never come back.
If I spend too much money, it will never come back.
Okay,
Yes.
there you go. All right, good. You nailed it. So has this ever happened to you, where you made a significant investment expenditure?
Yes.
Yes. What's the first one that comes to mind? I can see in your eyes there's something there. What happened?
During my self-development, before I got into Awakening Dynamics, I had gone into so much debt thinking that it would make things better for me financially. And then when I got into Awakening Dynamics, I'm like, oh my God, finally, like this is it. So I'm glad that this investment paid off, but all the other ones, there was a time where I was just like kicking myself in the butt.
It's scary because people make you promises, right?
Yeah.
And you take a big risk and spend a lot of money, and then they let you down.
Yep, that's
Trust
exactly
me,
what happened.
I know exactly how that feels.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
We'll go through a process to let go of that, okay?
Okay.
First thing that I want to congratulate you on, and this is, I want everyone watching to really hear this. I'm really glad you didn't give up. Because what happens is a lot of us get burned by people that really, aren't the real deal. They may have a real slick marketing offer, right? They have a really slick website or celebrity or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But they don't really know what they're doing. They spend all their money on their marketing and sales and very little on actually developing something powerful.
Right.
And so the two ways most people tend to go is, one, they just give up. The other is they make people in the future responsible for the past. Mm-hmm. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So
and
I
that's
just want
what I did.
Yeah. And, you like, for example, you'd say to someone, well, I would do your program, but I just spent $10,000 on this nonsense and now I'm broke. Yeah. You have to give it to me for free.
Yeah.
You see how that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right? Because that wasn't that new person's fault.
Right.
Right? So, good you avoided that. Mm-hmm. I'm saying this mainly for the people watching.
Yeah.
That, the reason Rayanne achieved the success she has is she didn't fall into those traps.
Yeah.
Right?
And I took another risk not too long ago in my business, and it's really paying off. And that was like the biggest risk, calculated risk that I've done.
Yeah, and the fact is, to make money, you need to take some calculated risks, right?
Yeah.
And other thing to know for Rayanne and for everyone, self-investment and self-improvement is what you might call a hit-driven industry. As an example, like the movies are like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the exact numbers are today, but I read once that like 80% of movies lose money. Mm-hmm. But the ones that make money, the 5% that are hits, make so much money that on the whole industry is profitable, at least over time, right?
Yeah.
If it wasn't, they wouldn't be around.
Right.
And so I have found self-development investments to be similar. Mm-hmm. A lot of them will just go to zero, just be worthless. But there will be a small number that deliver so much to you.
And that you get it back.
That it makes the whole process worth it.
Yep.
So I'd encourage you to look at it that way, right?
And I'm glad I found Awakening Dynamics.
I am too. Yeah, I'm glad you
found
this.
It was like to the point where I was scared. I was afraid. I was like, oh my goodness, like here we are again.
Yeah.
But I took the risk.
Yeah, so congratulations. It's good you have that capacity to take a calculated risk, right? And I want to emphasize that.
Yep.
This is not wildly spending and hoping, right?
Yeah.
Please don't buy lottery tickets on your credit card and hope to win. Terrible idea, right?
Yeah.
So back to the beliefs, I want you to check, I'm holding trauma from losing so much money.
I'm holding trauma from losing so much money.
Yeah. So let's go through and clear that for you, okay?
Okay.
Because, Rianne, you've been through all the trainings, I'm going to do the fast version here for you, okay?
Okay.
For someone that hadn't been through all the process, I go a little slower, but I think you can handle it, so we'll go fast, okay? Mm-hmm. I need the trauma so I can be safe.
I need the trauma so I can be safe. Yes.
We'll give you the downloads on how to be safe without it and pull that out, okay?
Okay.
Okay, one more time. I need the trauma so I can be safe.
I need the trauma so I can be safe.
Good, we got it. I have something to learn from it.
I have something to learn from it. Yes.
Okay, let's give you that. One more time. I have something to learn from it.
I have something to learn from it.
Good.
No.
I know how to live without it.
I know how to live without it.
Okay, and I know what it feels like.
And I know what it feels like. No.
Okay, let's give you that. And I know what it feels like.
And I know what it feels like. Yes.
Good. I know who I am without it.
I know who I am without it. Yes.
Good. I know this from creator's perspective.
I know this from creator's perspective. Yes.
Good. I need the trauma so it never happens again.
I need the trauma so it never happens again. Yes.
Okay. Again, we'll give you the downloads on how to not need it and then release the block, okay?
Okay.
Okay. I need the trauma so it never happens again.
I need the trauma so it never happens again.
Okay. One more time. I need the trauma so it never happens again.
I need the trauma so it never happens again.
There we go.
No.
I need the trauma to keep the lessons.
I need the trauma to keep the lessons. Yes.
Okay. Let's again we'll give you the downloads and then release the block. Okay. I need the trauma to keep the lessons.
I need the trauma to keep the lessons.
Good.
No.
I need the trauma to keep the memories.
I need the trauma to keep the memories. Yes.
Okay. We'll do the downloads, create the block, and test again. I need the trauma to keep the memories.
I need the trauma to keep the memories. No.
Okay, good. I still need this trauma.
I still need this trauma. No.
Okay, I know how to release it.
I know how to release it. No.
Okay, let's give it that. I know how to release it.
I know how to release it. Yes.
Good. And I know what it feels like.
And I know what it feels like. No.
Okay. And I know what it feels like.
And I know what it feels like. Yes.
Good. If I release it, it will come back.
If I release it, it will come back.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll release that. Let that go. If I release it, it will come back.
If I release it, it will come back.
Good. I need the trauma. If I release the trauma, something bad will happen.
If I release the trauma, something bad will happen. That's
Okay.
always been a thing.
All right. Yeah. I know what really happens if I release this.
I know what really happens if I release this.
Okay, good. From creator's perspective.
From creator's perspective.
Awesome. If I release the trauma, something bad will happen.
If I release the trauma, something bad will happen.
All right, there we go. Let's
Thank
clear it
God.
out. Okay, I'm still carrying this trauma.
I'm still carrying this trauma.
Okay. I'm carrying shock from this experience.
I'm carrying shock from this experience. Yes.
Okay, we'll clear that too, okay? I'm carrying shock from this experience.
I'm carrying shock from this experience.
Okay, I'm carrying cellular trauma from this experience.
I'm carrying cellular trauma from this experience. Yes.
Okay, we'll release that. I'm carrying cellular trauma from this experience.
I'm carrying cellular trauma from this experience. No.
Good. All right, let's check. It's safe for me to spend $35,000 a month.
It's safe for me to spend $35,000 a month.
Good.
Yes.
It's safe for me to spend $50,000 a month.
It's safe for me to spend $50,000 a month.
Good.
Yes.
It's safe for me to spend $100,000 a month.
It's safe for me to spend $100,000 a month.
Good.
Yes.
Awesome.
Cool.
I think that'll be plenty for right now.
I know. I was like, we'll keep it at 100.
Yeah, when your business grows and you bump your head on that, well,
Yeah.
give me a call and we'll do some more clearing.
Exactly.
Let's have you check. It's safe for me to spend money.
It's safe for me to spend money. Yes.
All right, awesome. Give yourself a little round of applause. Yay!
Yay! Wow,
So,
that was so quick.
Couple comments, and then we'll wrap up and get back to our Q&A session and do some healings for everyone here.
Okay.
It's actually not unusual when people go through the trainings, especially with the Awakening Intensive, that your life will start to expand.
Yes.
And you will start to get busier. And then you'll stop going to the sessions because you're so busy.
Yes.
I would encourage you, try to make, I understand if you can't make all of them, I get it, right?
Yeah.
Try to make some of them, maybe a half to 2/3.
Okay.
Because we want to keep this building, right?
Yes.
the sessions are a huge investment, not only for now, but for your future.
Yeah.
So you don't end up in another ditch at a higher level, right? We want to keep you moving.
Yeah. Right.
And so for everyone listening, just so you know, that this is very common. And many of us give up right before we have our big breakthrough.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, it would have been real easy for you to bail out before you came to the first weekend with me, huh?
Definitely.
Right.
And even I find I'm doing weekly calls with one of the students. And it's kind of like our standing. And in the beginning, we're both like self-sabotage, like, okay, what's happening here? Like, we're both so scared, and we knew why, but we showed up anyway, and we kept showing up and kept showing up. So, and that's kind of like our practice call once a week.
Good for you.
So yeah, and but I do have to say, like, since number one, so much has happened since then, and it's such a short period of time. I mean, the acceleration of things. I mean, things just kind of like opportunities started showing up. Yeah, and like you said, I'm busier. I am. Like, it's been crazy, but in a good way. Not if I was to be if I was to be in this space like even a year ago, I would not handled it the way I handle it now. And I know it's from this work, and this is why I'm like, I love it so much.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my goodness, like, this is insane how instant things. It's like instant shifts. It's like.
Yep. So if you don't mind, next time we do the healathon, maybe in the fall, send me a little update. I'm sure the people watching would love to hear what's happening between now and then in your life from the clarity.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be even more amazing. Like, yeah, awesome. Spend $100,000 a month. Great, perfect.
All right, excellent. Well, we're going to get back to, we got a little bit more of our presentation, and then we're going to launch into our Q&A and do healings for everyone. Okay, so, Ryan, you're certainly welcome to stick around and join us for that if you'd like.
I will, but I'll take myself off the.
Yep, give me 1 second here to switch over there.
Thank you so much.
So there you have it. If you come through this program, again, 1 weekend, that's it. You can develop the skills of a master healer almost overnight. Took me years. I'll give it to you on a silver platter. It really is that fast. I mean, you'll be blown away by how easy it is. That I can guarantee. You will get the most powerful spiritual technology based on real science. I know there's a lot of people that claim, oh, it's based on science. Well, guess what? Most of those people don't know what they're talking about. I am a legitimate scientist and engineer. I got the diplomas on my wall. Heck, you don't believe me? I'll pull my transcripts from MIT. See for yourself. You will get the most powerful technology available anywhere. I'm going to show you how to do powerful instant healings. You'll learn that just on the first night, in the first couple hours. You will experience your genuine spiritual awakening. And if you haven't started down the awakening path, we're going to give you a huge head start. If you've already started it through 30 Days to Awakening or other sources, I'm going to accelerate the process for you, get you a lot closer to your goal. I'm going to share with you the one great lie that creates all suffering. It's really one great lie. And not only will I show you what it is, I'll show you how to dissolve it. Everyone who comes through this, you will be able to clear subconscious blocks in seconds. Guaranteed. I have never had someone that couldn't. Guaranteed, in seconds. You'll be able to install new codes in the subconscious mind instantly. Again, guaranteed. Every single person that's gone through it has been able to do this. I will show you how to raise the setting on your subconscious financial thermostat, because that's the only way to really increase your prosperity over the long run. I will show you how to identify the core blocks, the things hiding in the subconscious that create illness, injury, poverty, depression, etc., and how to identify and clear them for yourself and others. This is exactly what we'll be doing in the live healing in just a couple minutes. I want to show you and help you experience higher consciousness for yourself. We're going to have a deeper, longer, more powerful experience of consciousness shifting. We're going to do the movement. We're going to do some incredible stuff. Remember the cell pictures? That's what really happens when you do this. I know you want to experience that. I will show you how to clear harmful radiation from your body and electronics. Now, I will be doing this for you at the end of our webinar tonight, But I know you want to learn to do this for yourself, your family, your friends, your office, your home, in seconds for the rest of your life. That alone, that one thing can make such a huge difference for you. I'm also going to show you how to clear the negative energy around you that's sabotaging your personal power. This again, if you just learn this one thing, this can change your life. And almost everyone that goes through the training can actually notice the difference after you've cleared the energy. It's really incredible. I will explain to you the simple science that explains miracles. I will help you to raise your consciousness significantly and permanently in just one weekend. I mean, how awesome is that? As we've seen from the pictures, you will be able to radically increase and improve the health of every cell of your body. I'm going to offer to you the secrets, the shortcuts, the techniques that I've used, the exact system to create over 1,500 miracle healings that literally saved my mother's life, saved the life of my son. He almost died when he was in the womb. I've seen instant healings on HIV, on cancer, back pain, neck pain, anger, depression, addiction, you name it. And ultimately, I want you to be able to create the conditions for a steady stream of miracles flowing into your life. I know it took me 30 some years before I experienced my first miracle. Now, it's very rare that more than a day or two passes when I don't experience one. There are literally hundreds, thousands of miracles waiting for you. You just need the technology to learn how to access them. And so I know you want to do this. Why wouldn't you, right? It's a no-brainer. You get all of this for just $497 or 3 payments of $199, 100% money back guarantee. So I want to take away all the risk. So you can just click the button on your webcast that says, yes, transform my life. Or if you prefer to enter the URL, it's there on the screen. You can type in awakeningdynamics.com/special. And so I'm very quickly going to mention the bonuses. These are only available if you register during the webinar. Number one, you get the Abundance Toolkit, which is 3 pieces, 2 master classes of 7 videos and workbooks, one on abundance through benevolence, one on spiritual investing. This is really high level stuff. I normally sell them for $197 each of these pieces. So this is a $600 value just in the first bonus. You get the Deep Theta guided meditations. These are encoded audios to help you access that theta state. It's a wonderful training tool. And I'm going to give you 2 versions of 15 and 45 to accelerate your progress, to make it much easier for you to be a healer, a manifester, an intuitive, to master your life. I'm also going to give you an hour-long Secrets of Muscle Testing video training, so you can learn how to do that. So add it all up. Again, if you just want to pay the full price, I don't mind. $29.97 for the weekend training. And at that price, I think it's still the best investment you could ever make. I honestly believe that. You will get an extensive manual and a full recording. Why? I'm going to give you so much powerful content. No matter how smart you are, you can't take it all in the first time, because I want to give you as much value as we can possibly cram into a weekend. And so I give you an extensive manual as well as a full recording, so you can get everything out of it. Again, I want to give you as much value, as much life-changing power as we can possibly cram into one weekend for the lowest price possible that lets me to keep my business running. That is honestly and truly what I'm doing here. You also get 90 days silver level in my VIP club. That's your support, your community, practice groups, Q&A sessions, opportunities for deep learning, demonstrations. Heck, you can even win free private with me. And a whole long list of bonuses I don't want to go through again. So again, I know that you see the value here. 100% money back guarantee. Everything here, all 7 tools, just $497 or 3 payments of $199, or type in awakeningdynamics.com/special. And you might be wondering, okay, Brent, that seems like a huge claim. You're really going to change my life that much in just a couple days? Transform the blood, teach me dozens of techniques, make me a healer, a block clearer, understand science, begin awakening? How is that possible? Well, I'm going to answer that. It is possible to achieve this in one weekend. There's a lot of things I've developed, technologies and approaches that no one else has. I'm just going to share one of them here. So here's just one. It's the miracle macros. And here's how it works. 50 years ago, if you needed software, you needed to either write it yourself or go hire someone to do it for you. There was no other choice. And so back then, getting custom software was difficult. Only experts could do it. It was expensive. One program could cost millions. And it was time consuming. It takes months or years to develop code from scratch. Okay, nowadays, almost any software you need, you can download on the internet. It takes seconds, and most of it's inexpensive. So that's a huge difference, isn't it? What used to be expensive, difficult, time consuming is now almost effortless, almost free. And so as a result, it's quick, it's easy, it's inexpensive. Heck, a lot of apps just cost a few dollars. Totally different world, right? Well, guess what? This is exactly what I have done with energy healing, with the law of attraction, with awakening. When I first learned this stuff, it was all these complex steps and words and visualizations. Did you know it took me over 3 months of daily practice and private sessions and seminars before I did one healing? It'll cost me like, I don't know, $9,000-$10,000 just to do one healing. And it took me 7 years of full-time work to become a master healer. Well, that's because back when I first started doing this, learning healing and awakening was difficult. It was expensive and it was time consuming. But guess what? I've created one of the technologies you're going to get is called the miracle macros. And so I've spent years literally writing the energy code for doing healings and block clearings and space clearing and all that stuff. And I can download it straight into your subconscious mind. It makes learning a healing technique as easy as downloading a new app. And so how is it possible? Well, again, I've spent my whole life, my whole career developing the code for this. For instant healing, subconscious block clearings, intuitive readings, manifesting, space clearing, radiation clearing, and a lot more. And during this intensive, I will download it straight into your subconscious and show you how to use it. And literally doing healings is just as easy as downloading an app and running it. You will see for yourself. And so that's how, in just one weekend, I can teach you all of these things. Healings, clearings, awakening, the science, manifesting, intuition, how to dig, how to locate core blocks. And I wouldn't expect you'll be a master healer after just 2 days, but you might after 2 months. You will have the skill and power of a master healer within a matter of weeks or a few months, just by learning and applying with everything you're getting included here. And that's one of the reasons I give 90 days in the VIP club. I want you to go to the practice groups that have opportunity for Q&A, to work with partners, to really master this. And so you're going to get world-beating technology and teaching, hands-on supervised practice, ongoing support, community, Q&A opportunities, live practice group, deep learning, all included, no extra charge. And so it includes the live ticket to the weekend, either again at the hotel or online, your choice, extensive manual. You will use all of these 7 secrets, every one of them. You'll also get a full recording. And I want to mention, if you prefer to come live, but I'm not able to accommodate you, either because the room is sold out, I do use a small room to keep it intimate, or because we're doing an online only course, if you register and come online, I will give you a free retake to come live next time. So again, that's for those who, for whatever reason, if you want to come live to the hotel, but I can't accommodate you, please attend online and I will give you a free retake to come to the hotel next time and guarantee your spot. So I hope that helps. You will actually use all these 7 secrets. There'll be a lot of hands-on practice. Day 1, we're going to cover awakening and instant healing. Everybody gives and receives a healing on the very first day. And we always see miracles happen the first day. And I would love to hear about your miracle too. Day 2, we show you how to talk to the subconscious, how to do block clearings and downloads, and how to access your intuition. We also cover how to locate the core blocks. On day 3, we cover manifesting and embodiment, as well as a grab bag of applications like the space clearing, the radiation clearing, the science of healing. So lots of hands-on supervised practice. And you will also get 90 days of support and community in the VIP club. We do practice groups every week. We have frequent Q&A sessions, block clearing calls. I do live demonstrations. I give away privates to the members. And there's a huge archive of what I call deep learning. Master classes, recorded calls, recorded sessions, articles, videos, special material. All of it for just $4.97, or 3 payments of $199. Just click the button that says yes, transform my life. It should be on the webcast, or type in the URL, awakeningdynamics.com/special. Pretty easy. And of course, you're covered by the no questions asked 100% money back guarantee. All you have to do is attend the first day of the live class. And if you don't like it, if you don't feel it's worth twice what you paid, just let me know. You can drop out and get all your money back, and you can still keep the bonuses. And I want to make this a no-brainer because I think that you really need to learn this stuff. It will change your life so much. Literally, almost every day of my life, I get emails from students thanking me. Oh my gosh, Brent, I'm so glad I did your program, and tell me about the incredible things they've learned. So I want to make it a no-brainer. I want to take away all the financial risk. But you need to make your commitment if you want to get the lowest price point and all the bonuses and the money back guarantee. You can come back at any time if you want to pay the full price, the $66.12, no problem. I'm happy to accommodate you. But if you want to take advantage of the $497 or the 3 payment offer, if you want to get all the bonuses, everything included, you need to make your investment during the webinar. So again, just click the button or put in the URL. All right, so I want to give everyone some instructions. Just in case you haven't used Webinar Jam before, I want to show you how to submit questions. And then we're going to do our Q&A and our rounds of healing, and we will finish at the very end with the radiation clearing. So on your, oh yeah, and I also want to offer everybody that we will be giving you an extra bonus just for being on the webinar today. It's called 5 Ways to Awaken Theta Brainwave. And this is not something that you can buy off my website or anywhere. The only way to get it is to come to the webinar. And so I'm going to mark that as soon as we are getting to towards the end. I've also had a couple, I see a couple people are having trouble with the webinar registration. I'm going to go turn that on right now, just to on and off. I guess we're having a little technical difficulty tonight. All right. So hopefully, if you guys could let me know in the chat room, if you can see the button that says yes, transform my life. Hopefully hopefully everyone can see that, and I would be happy to answer any questions you have. So I will put up the download when we get to the end, when we do the radiation clearing. You know, I do want to encourage everyone to stay to the end because and to ask questions, because the fact is, whatever questions you ask, I guarantee that someone else will probably be thinking it. So everyone is encouraged. I'm happy to provide a limited amount of coaching. Obviously, I'm not going to stop and coach somebody for 30 minutes during a group event. But if you could ask questions that I can answer relatively succinctly, I'd be happy to answer them for you. All right, thank you to Surya for letting me know. So let's talk for a minute about how does, I know some of you have already figured this out because I can see them in the Q&A, but I want to cover this very quickly. And if you look at your screen, you'll see in the, it's either the lower, usually the lower right, but depending on your device, it might be elsewhere. But when I look at my computer, it's in the lower right. You see a little window like that. Here's what you want to do. If you want to just do general chat, just go ahead and type in, right? It'll put it into the chat room. If you want to ask a specific question of me that you want me to answer right now, or you want to put in a request for a specific healing, this is how you do it. You just click the button, change it to ask a question, type in your question, and then I'll see it marked on my side as being a specific question that's looking for an answer or a request for healing. So that's all there is to it. You just go down there, change it from chat to ask a question, and then it'll flag it. If you already put questions or requests for healings into the chat room, I would ask, if you don't mind, just cut and paste it and put in it again, only because I don't want to take the time to catch up on all the chat while everyone's on the line waiting. So I hope that makes sense. And I will just go through the ones that are flagged. After you're done asking your question, you can then, if you want to go back to the general chat, go ahead and go back to the general chat. So I hope that makes sense. All right, awesome. So again, I will put this up. Give me 1 second. So everyone should see that on your webcast now, the 5 ways to a theta brainwave. Again, if somebody could just let me know in the chat, just want to double check you can see it okay. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to answer all your questions and do our healings. And, I do want to say a huge thank you in advance to everyone that's coming to the weekend intensive. You may or may not know that this is the only way that I support myself and my family. And, it does take an enormous amount of not only effort, but expense to do events like this. So, it is greatly appreciated to have your support. And those that are joining us, I guarantee you will be blown away. You're actually very lucky in that there's a couple extra special things you get for coming to this event this June. Number one is June is traditionally the smallest class of the year. Not sure why, but last year I think we only had a dozen people. So you will get a lot of attention from me and my staff. I already have, I think, 4 assistants lined up. So that's a pretty darn good ratio, right? You have the teacher plus 1 assistant for every 2 or 3 people. Good luck finding that anywhere at even at 3 times the price I'm charging. Secondly, I want everyone to know that because this is an online only class, you're going to get a couple extra bonuses. Number one is anybody that comes to the online class in June or that registers, and if you don't want to come in June, if you have a conflict or something, or you just prefer to come live, I will also give you a free live registration when we hold the live room in September. And that's here in Los Angeles. And so that's at no extra charge. So you can come to the online class in June, you can come to the live class in September, you can come to both. You can watch the recordings. All of it included, no extra charge. I'm going to try really hard to make this a no-brainer. I really want to teach you this stuff. It will absolutely change your life. So I'm going to make it really easy. Would love to have you do all of them. If you can come online in June, great. If you can't, you can catch the recordings, go through the manual, and then come live in September. So all included, no extra charge. So I hope that will allay anybody's concerns about scheduling. And also, it is, I actually think, better when I do an online-only class for the streamers. The reason being, when I have a live room, I necessarily have to be more focused on the people in the room with me. When we do an online-only class, I am 100% focused on the streamers online. And you'll love the technology we use. We use a combination of YouTube broadcast as well as Zoom live video conference. So when I'm presenting, we'll be on the YouTube broadcast. When we're doing a lot of the interactive exercises, we'll jump on the Zoom and we'll have a live real-time video conference where you can ask questions and I will walk you through the exercises. You can share your experiences. And again, this will be a relatively small group. Everybody will get a ton of personal attention and support. Everybody gets assigned a partner. Everybody gets to do all the exercises, ask questions. The whole thing is completely interactive. So I think you're going to love it. So anyhow. Okay, awesome. Thank you for letting me know that you can get the 5 ways document. I hope you enjoy it. All right, so I'm going to start the Q&A now. And would love to hear from you. For those registering for the upcoming intensive, please let us know in the chat room. I'm going to give you a big round of applause. And I think you'll be absolutely blown away. All right, so I'm going to go back to the beginning. And just a quick reminder, if you didn't do so already, please go and put your questions in and requests for healing in under the Ask a Question. And those will pop up flagged on my display. And I'm going to answer all of them before I finish. And just in case anybody's having trouble with the registration button, there's also the URL on this you can see on the slide here. It's just awakeningdynamics.com/special. And again, encourage you. You're covered by 100% money back guarantee. So if you think it sucks, just show up for the first day, bail out, and you get to get all your money back and keep all the bonuses. That's very rare. It's actually been over a year since I had any refund request on this class. So we have to go back to February over a year ago, because those that actually attend will love it. Many people say it's the best event they've ever done. I can't speak for everyone, but I hear that a lot. So would love to see you there. So let's jump into our questions. Okay, question from Raphael. When can I give you the names for the healings? now's a good time. I will let everyone know that it's much more powerful if you request a healing for yourself. It's much less effective to request it for somebody else. I'm not saying I won't give it a shot, but it's you're not as likely to get a good result for someone that can't be bothered to even watch the webinar. So again, I'm going to give it my best shot, but I would encourage you, if you have people that aren't on the webinar, get them on the webinar. Put in the request for healing and watch the replay. It will absolutely be more powerful when there's some exchange, when they're at least engaged with the process. The worst possible situation is to send someone a healing who didn't ask for it, who doesn't want it, and isn't willing to provide any exchange, not even willing to learn about the system. Again, I'm willing to do it. I just want to let everyone know what you need to do to get the best results possible. So I would encourage you to limit the healing request just to yourself. Anybody that is interested, you can give me their name. Make sure they register for the replay. It's really easy. Just have them go to awakeningdynamics.com. Little box will pop up, putting your first name and primary email, and you'll get registered for the webinar, and the replay link will go out tomorrow. So, and that's not just a sales thing. This is law of exchange. I want you to get the best results possible. What I don't want is people putting in 7 healing requests for their friends and family and wondering why they aren't experiencing life-changing miracles. Well, that's part of it. The more exchange you put in, the more better your results. So those that are coming to the event, I guarantee you'll have a much more powerful experience and get a better healing there than you will tonight. Why? Simply a matter of exchange. Also, you get a much more powerful result if you're able to do subconscious clearing, like you saw me doing. And I'm going to do demonstrations at the event as well as showing you how to do it. So you can practice with each other. And remember, we have 90 days included in my VIP club. We have practice groups just about every week, Q&A sessions, block clearing calls, master classes, right? This is all included. And so, the more engaged you are, the more effort you're making, the better results are going to go. You're 10 times more likely to get a good result if you come to the weekend than just requesting a free healing. You're 10 times more likely to get a good result there if you do some block clearing, etc. So anyhow, again, I'm going to do the best I can with everybody no matter what, right? I just want you to know what you need to do to set yourself up for success. Okay, question from Pete. Okay, request for healing. I'm not going to read the details of the request for healings. I just want to acknowledge you. Okay, request for healing from Melissa. Okay, request for healing from Evan. Request for healing from Fernanda. Request for healing from Linda. Request for healing from Beth. Request for healing from Michael. Okay, question from Deborah. She has all sorts of weird things happen, like with her computer, and then you end up with a normal job. Could you clear the blocks? Yes. I'm not sure that's in a format like this you'd have a lot of success, but what I'd encourage you to do is either come to the training, and I'll show you how to do it, or contact me or my staff for private sessions, and we can absolutely get to the bottom of that. So anyone that's interested in private sessions here, I'll just type it into the chat room. Just contact the sessions at awakeningdynamics.com, and give me 1 second. I'll pull up the phone number for you too. And make sure you mention the healathon, and I will give you an additional discount on the rates that are listed on my website. Okay, and again, this is just for private sessions. If you have a technical support issue, please email support@awakeningdynamics.com. But private sessions phone number. Just know that I'm not a giant company. I don't have a 24/7 telephone staff. So if you call, please leave a voicemail, and me or my assistant, Brittany, will get back to you as soon as we can. So let me see the questions we have. So yes, Deborah, would love to work with you. Okay, request for healing from FBG, request for healing from Raquel. Okay, request for healing from Susie. Gotcha. Request for healing from Evelyn. Request for healing from Linda. Okay, is it okay to ask for healing for your dog? Yeah, I think for an animal or a small child living with you, perfectly legit to request a healing, because not really capable of joining us in the webinar and providing an exchange in terms of attention and time. And I'll talk a lot more about this at the training, but that there are different metaphysical laws of the universe. And as with any engineering endeavor, we need to understand those laws and how they work and work with them, and we'll get the best results. One of them is the law of exchange. And so the more exchange that is offered, the more powerful the result. So, by getting on my list, coming to the event tonight, that's some level of exchange. That's why I'm saying you'll do best requesting healing for yourself. Coming to the event, that's even more exchange. You'll get an even more powerful result. You put in the time and energy to do block clearing, again, it gets even more powerful. So, that's not just something I made up. There's lots of people that have written books and videos about the law of exchange. It's a real thing. There's lots of other laws too. We'll cover those during the event, but that's just one of them. Now, for animals and small children that are with you, go ahead and request a healing for them. If you're their parent or guardian, totally legit and kosher, because they're already providing the best exchange they can. So I hope that makes sense. And again, I'm going to do what I can no matter what, right? I just want to make sure everyone's clear on what you need to do to get the best possible result. Okay, request for healing for Ivan. Okay, request for healing from Thomas. Okay, Michael asks, what is the quantum field? Great question, Michael. So the quantum field is literally nothing less than the source of everything. The quantum field is what birthed the whole universe during the Big Bang. The quantum field is where all of our power comes from. The quantum field is where intelligence is. It's where intuition is. It's literally the source of life. It's the divine itself. And it is a field effect. It can't be localized. So it's like gravity, right? Or electromagnetism. It's a field that permeates the universe. And it wasn't even discovered until about 100 years ago. The science of quantum physics and quantum engineering has become quite sophisticated in the last 100 years. And in fact, all of our electronics and all of our modern society is all based on the engineering of the quantum field. So, this is not just some new agey concept, this is real hard science. What I would say is the quantum field is sort of the bridge between the new age, the mysticism, the spiritual, and the laws of the universe, the physics, the math. And quite simply, when we are what we call present, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard that a million times, right? Stop being so attached, be present, be in the now, etc., right? What that's really talking about is how connected are you to this quantum field? And when you are very present, you're connected to the field. And when you move and take actions, they powerfully actuate into the world. So your actions have real results. On the flip side, if you're very stuck in the mind at the effect of the stories and myths of the subconscious, it disconnects you from that quantum field. And when you try to take action to make money, to heal your body, to find love, etc., it's very likely things will just go wrong. You're literally up against your own subconscious, and it's an uphill struggle. And I know this. This is why my life cratered so badly. I was totally in my head disconnected from this quantum field. And it took me a lot of years and literally hundreds of thousands of dollars to understand and discover this. When we did the consciousness shifting process, another name for that is quantum field entrainment. And that's a process of trying to reconnect you into that quantum field. As a result, many people notice the difference right away. You may see energy or auras with your open eyes. You may see my face change. You may see other lifetimes. Right? I could go on and on and on. There's all this amazing stuff that happens. And so when you're entrained into the quantum field, you're literally connected with life. During the weekend intensive, we'll spend a lot more time on the movement feedback holography. We'll explain how it works. We'll show you how to do it at home. We'll do several people doing movements and getting feedback and quantum field entrainment. So that'll be on the agenda for Sunday. And that's often when we see the most powerful shifts. I think you'll be really blown away. I mean, we see astonishing changes in people's energy and presence within minutes. And so really what it comes down to is pretty simple. Your success in life is more or less dictated by how connected you are to this quantum field. And this is why when I first started learning this stuff into the consciousness shifting and the movement from my mentor, my life finally started to come together. I finally started to make money and find love and have the success that eluded me for so long. And I want to share that with you too. And I want to make it a lot easier for you. And I want to make it cost a lot less. That's my mission. So, great question, Michael. I hope that answers it. Okay, request for healing from John. Request for healing from Karen. Request for healing from Alana. And so for everyone, I want to be realistic about what we can and can't do here. The most likely thing you will probably see as a result from our work tonight would be a physical thing. But just remember, if there's subconscious stuff in the way, you need to do block clearing first, right? Either come to the weekend and I'll show you how to do it, or contact me for a private, I'll do it for you. You get much more powerful results. I'm going to do the best I can with issues like, money or finances, career. Just know that that's almost guaranteed to take block clearing. And it doesn't always take a lot. I mean, you all saw the video that came out of one of these weekend intensives with Michael. That really happened. I did about the whole video, the whole session is about 17 minutes. We cut it down a little bit for the webinar. Anyone that really wants to see the whole video, I'm happy to send it to you. It's about 17 minutes. And that made a huge change in his life. So to see changes in career and relationships, probably going to take some digging. Major physical stuff, probably going to take some digging. We need to get into your subconscious. That being said, I am going to do the best I can here. I just don't want everyone going away thinking, oh, it doesn't work. It's essentially what you're kind of asking me to do is, all right, without any warm up, having not played baseball in 10 years, we want you to go up to bat and hit a home run off a major league pitcher. No, that's not impossible, but it's really hard, right? So I'm willing to give it a shot. I just want everyone to know, if you want the odds in your favor, you're going to have to put in some more work. I want to tell you the truth. Remember my first session with Terry, my frozen elbow instantly healed. That only took an hour of block clearing. But it didn't happen for free. It didn't happen in 2 minutes. And it didn't instantly fix all my problems. I still had all the chronic pain, the stiffness. I still had Lyme disease. I still had massive social anxiety, depression. I was deep in debt. It took a lot more work, a lot more block clearing, trainings, etc., but I was able to overcome that. And so I have total confidence that I've seen this happen with literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. The only question for you is, are you going to give up before you get the results? And so I am going to do the best I can with everybody. I would just let you know that trying a million free things on the internet without really diving deep or committing to any of them, probably not going to help you much. Why? Because I tried that too. The biggest shifts in my life were when I committed to a teacher and I said, okay, I'm going to learn what you have to teach. I'm going to go find the money and make a commitment and apply it. And so if you do that, you're pretty much guaranteed to see results. The only question is, are you going to give up before you get there? A lot of people will ask, well, Brent, how long does it take? Well, that's like asking me how long it takes to debug your code. I don't know. Depends how many bugs there are, right? Someone like Michael had a relatively small number of bugs. 17 minutes, pow, changed his life. Okay, we have some people. Please, let's not spam here, the chat room here with sales offers for other people's programs. I don't want to ban anybody, but I think that's inappropriate. So I hope that makes sense. And okay, Melissa asked, being in the now is very hard. How do you stay in the present? There's a couple things to do, Melissa. A lot of people are challenged with that. And I want to say, first of all, it's really good you're aware of that, because most people who are stuck in their head don't know it. So it's really good you're aware of that. That's actually a big step forward. So you're doing better than you think. Number one is the block clearing. All these blocks and traumas pull us out of the now. They take us into the past and the future, right? So, something happened when you were 3 years old, it creates a subconscious block. And then it pulls you back to being 3 instead of being present. We want to clear that stuff. So that's, the block clearing, the demonstration you saw, that's a part of it. The quantum field entrainment and the movement are perhaps even more powerful because they bypass language, they bypass the rational mind, and work directly on the level of awareness and kinesthetics, the body movement. And for me, because I was so stuck in my head, the block clearing alone wasn't enough. It helped. But the combination of the block clearing with the movement, the consciousness shifting, that's what it took to do the trick. And that's why I do all 3. And I want to caution everyone, anyone doing the weekend intensive, prepare to be blown away. I guarantee I will offer you at least 10 times more value and content than any other self-improvement thing you've ever done. Come see for yourself. The biggest problem people have with it is it's easy to get overwhelmed because there's so much. There's literally a life-changing technique or teaching coming at you every 5 or 10 minutes. There's not filler. There's not fluff. You will not hear me say the same thing over and over and over and over and over again 27 different ways. We don't have time for that. Because I want to give you as much value as we can humanly cram into one weekend. So watch out. But that's why I'm offering a free retake. That's why I'm giving you a giant thick manual that took me 2 years to write. It's also why I'm giving you a full recording. I want you to get as much as possible out of it. So Melissa, that's what I would do. Okay. Request for healing from Debashish. Request for healing from Carolyn. Okay. I'm asked for the, give me 1 second. If I have the full video of Michael, I will pull it up now. Otherwise, you can email support@awakeningdynamics.com. And, my assistant has it for sure. But give me 1 second. I'll see if I can find it quickly. If not, I don't want to hold everybody here. Okay, maybe ask me at the end because I don't want to hold everyone hanging while I sit here and search on my computer. But we'll definitely get it over to you. Just email support@awakeningdynamics.com. You'll see the whole session. And remember, when I pulled Michael up, I had no idea what he wanted to work on. I had never met him before. I had no idea how long it would take or what would happen. And you guys, that was a real thing. Okay, request for healing from Melanie, from Danny. Okay, good question. Are we able to get the benefit of someone else's clearing if we have the same or similar issue? Yes. And I didn't spend a lot of time teaching muscle testing because I didn't want to add another 20 minutes to the presentation. But you can absolutely go through the demonstration you saw me do, or the declaring, either the one with Rayanne or the one with Michael. When I do the clearings, I send them not only to the person I'm working on, but everyone watching. And so if you want to follow along, use the muscle testing, you can check all the same blocks and traumas. And what you'll find is most of them will clear from watching the recording. It may not be 100% though. The reason being that they may have some blocks and such that were relatively easy for me to clear on them, but may take more work on you. That's why I'd recommend the muscle testing. But you'll be able to get a lot of the same clearings. There'll be some that don't shift because they'll need some more debugging, some deeper digging. But most of it, maybe all of it, will clear. So absolutely. And we'll do the same thing during the weekend. We'll do at least one demonstration, maybe 2 or 3 if we have the time. And I'll pick someone out of the group and we'll work with them through the video conferencing. Just like you saw, I'll have no idea what you want to work on and no idea what's going to happen. But we'll apply all the tools you learned. You get to see me use them in real time on a real person with a real issue. But everybody gets the clearing and everybody is welcome to follow along and do the muscle testing, and you'll get a lot of the same clearings. Okay, Melanie asked for the phone number for the private sessions. I will send that to you right now. So I'm sending that to the group. just going to post it here in the chat room. So that's for private sessions. So there you go. Yeah, and there's a comment about replaying things that happened in the past. That is typical of a traumatic imprint. And I have a special trauma clearing process I use for that. And I forget if we did it during the demo, but I have a special process we use exactly for that. So for sure, you're in the right place. Okay, Kim asked, can you help me with love, money, and physical body transformation? Absolutely. It's going to be more work and more involved than me sending you one healing right now. I'm going to do the best I can, but you can absolutely make a difference on all those things. They're all just programs in the subconscious. We need to systematically identify and clear the blocks and the traumas, put in the code you're missing, add in the quantum field access to get you more present, more connected to your body, out of the head, more actuated into life in the universe, get that energy of life moving through you. And absolutely, remember, I want to tell the truth here. When I had my first session with Terry, all my problems were not solved in an hour. And remember, she did an hour of one-on-one block clearing and I paid for the session, right? But my frozen elbow instantly healed. My chronic pain did not instantly change. My social anxiety, my financial situation, my difficulties in relationships, my depression, anxiety, on and on and on. But I had been on disability for years. I wasn't making money. I was deep in debt. I could go on, right? And there's a whole bunch of stuff I didn't even talk about during the presentation. I had cancer. I had migraines. It was a freaking nightmare, right? I was able to overcome all of those things. The only question is, are you going to give up before you get there? And energy healing is not the only part of the answer for every issue and every person. Some stuff it is. Sometimes the energy work is all you need. Pain may disappear. You may heal of a disease. You may feel better, have more energy, make a breakthrough in your business. Other times, the energy healing is part of the answer, and when we get you unblocked, you'll manifest the rest. So as an example, energy work alone did not get me past all my chronic pain, but it opened the door. I still did physical therapy. I did yoga, I did Pilates, I lifted weights, I stretched, I used medical lasers, electric stims, magnets, PIMP machines. They all helped a little bit. Though, before I started doing the energy clearing, I just kept getting worse no matter what I did. And then I started doing private sessions once a week with Terry for about 1.5 years, and started doing the trainings and the practice groups and all that. And what happened was my condition first stabilized and then started to improve. So, and that's one of the advantages of one-on-ones is I'll tell you what I think is the fastest track for you. For some people, it's just energy work. Not true for everybody. For some people, you may need a supplement, an herb. For some people, I may send you to a doctor. And again, it's a case-by-case basis. Sometimes there are medical treatments that people just don't know about, or they've been to a bad doctor in the past and they just need to find a good doctor, right? That's unusual. I'm just using that as an example. Some people, especially if you have issues with your joints or old injuries, there's a special supplement that I found that works wonders. Anyone that wants to come to the weekend or book me for privates, I'd be happy to share. And also let you know if I think it would be a good fit, because I don't want you spending money on things that aren't going to work for you, right? But can you make a change in all things? Yes. And what I want to offer to everybody is this. I'm going to meet you at whatever level of commitment you have. So, if you're a dip your toe in the water kind of person, all right, I'll give you a free healing during the webinar. I'll answer your questions, no problem. If you are all in and willing to really do the work and make the commitment, I'll meet you there. Of course, I'll give you, extra time that I don't charge you with, right? Of course, I'll answer your emails. So, whatever level of commitment you come in with, I will match that. You just tell me where you're at, and, I'll meet you there. Because, it has to be a fair thing. There's not enough hours in the day for me to go out of my way to help everyone that's ever signed onto my list, right? But for the small number of people that go through the classes and join the Awakening Intensive, absolutely. You know, we in the AI, we have a 24/7, 365-day-a-year community. And, you know, several of my students are now professional practitioners. I'm there to help you. They're there to help you. We actually have beaming sessions, the consciousness shifting 5 days a week. We have practice groups. We have movement sessions. You know, there's tons of stuff there for you. So, you know, whatever your commitment is, I'll meet you there. Okay. And so, Melissa, all right, I will email you that, though you should be able to just see it in the chat room, but I will email it to you. Give me 1 second here. And just remember, you know, I'm not a giant company with a 24/7 phone staff, so there's a good chance when you call, it'll go to voicemail. Please leave a voicemail. My assistant, Brittany, will get back to you as soon as she can. You know, email is a little better, but if you're not getting responses to your email, you know, it may be caught in a spam filter. Give us a call. Okay, request for healing from Virginia. Request for healing from Teresita. Okay, so Surya, you know, I see your comments in the chat room. I'm going to try to give you some coaching and advice right here. From what I'm seeing here, I think your biggest issue is you're disconnected from the quantum field. You're too much in your head. And when that happens, no amount of technique or process is going to make much difference. You could go and spend 30 years fasting and meditating and standing on your head, and it probably wouldn't change that. You know, don't get me wrong, I'm not opposed to those things. There would be a lot of benefit in you from it, right? And I know because that was me. I was a full-time healer for 5 years, and then I went bankrupt. And the reason being was I was missing the presence, the consciousness shifting, the movement aspects. Hadn't discovered those yet. So I had literally created a couple hundred miracles. I had healed my body to some degree. I had started dating again after my divorce, right? So I made a lot of progress, but the money didn't turn around until I found the quantum field piece. And there's not a lot of people who teach that. In fact, of what I'm aware of, there used to be 2, me and my mentor, and then he died. So I don't know anyone that can teach it like I can. Now, I'm not saying there aren't. I'm just saying I don't know about them, right? I'm not personally familiar with every single person on the planet and what they offer and can do. Of course not. But as far as the well-known people, no, none of them can do it. There might be people I've never heard of course there could be. But there was only one person in the world my mentor gave permission to carry on and teach his work, and that's me. So, you know, it's a little scary, it's a big responsibility, but, you know, that's why I'm doing this. So, you know, I would encourage you to come to the weekend, and especially the movement that we're going to do on Sunday. I think that would probably be the most significant, the most important. And certainly, I don't think that spending money on internet marketing seminars and advertising is going to change that. When you're disconnected from the quantum field, that's just going to be a black hole for money. You can spend money on publicists, you can spend money on advertising, internet marketers, and success coaches, then they'll all promise you the moon and cash your check, and you'll just be left wanting. And I say that because that's been my experience. You know, that happened to me over and over and over and over and over. And, you know, my job has been to go and spend an enormous amount of years and time and money and effort trying all these things and understanding how they work and finding their strengths and shortcomings. What I've put together in the program is what I think are just the gems. And I'll let everyone know, not everything you learn will be relevant to you. You're going to learn a million things, not a million, but like that's like 27 different processes and techniques. Soul fragment clearing, space clearing, radiation clearing, block clearing, subconscious downloads, theta wave entrainment, theta wave manifesting, intuitive readings, doing an intuitive body scan, the scale of consciousness, the launching your awakening, the quantum field entrainment, the movement, the science. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, right? Not everyone needs to use or understand all of it. I cram it with gems because I want to do the best I can to make sure everybody gets what's important to them to move forward. So please don't think you need to master every piece of it. That would take years. But I try to give everybody, a broad enough slice of the best of the best, so you connect with what's right for you. And so for Surya, I think the movement, the quantum field would be number one on the list. And it's going to be different for different people. For other people, they just may need to clear their space. Others may need to clear some old traumas. Others may just need to get in touch with their intuition. And for people like Surya or anyone that's really struggling with money or your career, the intuition is huge, because you need to develop that intuitive ability to know what's going to be right for you. Right? Which internet marketer do I work with? Which programmer do I hire? Which website designer? Right? What keywords do I use for my ads? Do I put my money on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Google? There is no one answer for that. You need to develop intuition to find the right people and the right processes and systems that will work for you. And I think the shortcut to that is the quantum field. I really do. And, again, other than my late mentor, I don't know anyone that is able to teach it like I do. If you know of them, get in touch with me. Would love to find other people that can do that. Maybe it would make my life a lot easier. Okay. So we're going to get a replay. Yes. You should get a replay link in your email tomorrow. So you'll be able to go over any piece that you missed. No problem. Okay. Quick practical tip you can apply now. Well, I hope there was a bunch of the presentation. I guess one thing would be for anyone that grabbed the 5 ways to a theta brainwave. If you're doing any intuitive processes, any manifesting, any law of attraction stuff, do it from the theta state. So that's one quick practical tip. And in that document, there's some tips. Now, you get a lot more in the weekend intensive. I will show you the fast way. So you won't be reliant upon a binaural beat audio or headphones or some complicated process, right? I'll show you how to do it in seconds. I'm not sure of anyone else that can do that. I can clear a block on 1,000 people faster than you can blink your eyes. When you first learn it, by Saturday, you'll be able to do block clearings in, I don't know, maybe 3, 5, 8 seconds. So it'll be that fast, that easy. You'll be able to get in and out of theta and make changes in the subconscious by the second day. So that's a huge advantage. So, that would be the best thing. Can you attend online in India? Absolutely. Now, of course, time zones are going to be a bit of a challenge. So here's what I would recommend to everyone. If you're in a very different time zone, just do the best you can. If we have a portion of the class in the middle of the night, you know what? Just catch up on the recording. That's one of the reasons I offer the full recording. So I'd say do the best you can within reason to join us live. If you can, that's awesome. So, like Friday night, maybe you get up early Saturday. Do the best you can, right? Saturday and Sunday, I'd say stay on with this as long as you can. When it gets to be too late in the night and you're getting really tired, sign off and catch up on the recording in the morning. So, pretty simple. Do the best you can to be on live. If the time zones make it ridiculously wacky in the middle of the night, stay on when you can, and then you can catch up the rest on the recordings. So I hope that makes sense. And I love to work with people from India. One of the things I hear a lot, I've literally gotten, dozens, maybe hundreds of emails and voicemails over the years. People will say, "Oh my gosh, Brent, I'm often, I don't mean to pick on India. It's because India is really the spiritual center of gravity of the whole world. Anyone that's done serious spiritual work, that's obvious, right? Unbroken lineage of spiritual traditions going back literally thousands and thousands of years. But I get a lot of emails from people saying, I've grown up studying non-duality. I've read all the masters. I've been to retreats. I've lived in an ashram. I never got it until I found your stuff, Brent. Thank you. So, I actually love to work with people that have very spiritual backgrounds because I can often offer you that missing piece. Now, that being said, my approach is not for everybody. I am an engineer. I'm a just the facts person. If you want someone to just hug you and tell you it's all going to be okay with no basis in fact or reality, I'm not that person. I'm just going to tell you the truth. And the fact is, not everyone wants to hear the truth. I'd make a lot more money if I just made you a bunch of empty promises and sold you a box of hot air. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you the truth the best I understand it and show you the best way forward for you in your life. I hope that makes sense. And yeah, sometimes the truth is uncomfortable, but it's how I grow, right? All right. Oh, awesome. Evan, yes, thank you for your kind words. I'm just saying them now. Evan, so thank you. And no, he's not one of my assistants either. But awesome. Good to hear from a fan. Okay. For Alana, hope I'm saying her name right. I'll tune in for a second. What I'm seeing is there's a big obstacle of fear. There's a fear you're going to stumble or fail or make a mistake or get judged for it. And the trouble with that is it pulls you out of the present and neutralizes your power. And you're going to need someone that can help you to feel more grounded, because at some point you're going to have to take a risk. The fact is, again, the truth is, if you want to be really successful in this world, you almost have to take a calculated risk. Unless you happen to be born wealthy, right? Or win the lottery or have a rich uncle, good luck, right? Very few of us are that lucky. If you are, great, congratulations, right? The money's not your issue. But if not, at some point you're going to have to take a calculated risk. You're going to have to find a person that you think is the best fit for you and take a risk to move forward. As an example, when I had my first session with Terry, if you had told me that I'd have to come up with the money to do, a couple dozen more private sessions and do weekend trainings, I would have laughed at you. I would have said that's impossible. Why? Well, I was deep in debt at the time. I'd been on full-time disability for like 5 years. And my disability payment at the time barely covered my rent. So I was literally going into the hole every month for years. And, thank God I had good credit or I would have ended up homeless. At the worst, I was something like $50,000 in credit card debt. And, between credit card debt and, I had taken, other kinds of loans, and I was desperate. And, after I saw the power of it, I went out and I'll tell you what I did. I called up everyone I knew, all my family, all my friends, and I said, hey guys, I found something that I think will really change my life. And I told them the story, what happened with my elbow. And I said, please, if you could either loan me like $50 or $100 or, just give me an advance on my next birthday and Christmas present. Or, if there's something I can do for you, fix your computer, I'd really, really appreciate that. I'm just looking for some way to move forward. And, I came up with enough money to book another 12 sessions with Terry and do 2 of the weekend trainings. And I thought that was going to be the end of it, right? Well, no. By the time I had gone through all the sessions and trainings, we had done so much more clearing, I started to be able to manifest a little more. But again, it took me a couple of years to really get clear of it. It took me about 3 years to pay off the debt. It didn't happen overnight. And yeah, I had to take risks. Not all of them worked out. I spent $2,000 on this media directory that was supposed to get me all sorts of radio and TV interviews. It got me nothing. That really hurt. So that was stupid. That was a huge mistake. But the money I put into myself in the private sessions and the trainings, best things I ever did. And, I think for everyone, it's just a question, are you going to bail out before you get there? There was a great story the other day, because I'm a baseball fan. But, this is not about sports. This is about life, right? They were saying that Cody Bellinger, who plays for Dodgers, who was the leading candidate to be most valuable player for the entire league this year. I mean, the guy's so good, it's just ridiculous, right? During his entire time in high school, he only hit 1 home run in 4 years of games. And in the major leagues this year, he hit 20 home runs in the first 2 months, which is crazy, right? So the point being that people who end up being incredibly successful and talented don't always show that at the beginning. It would have been very easy for Cody Bellinger to give up after high school, to say, hey, I only hit 1 home run. I'm not sure I have what it takes to be a major leaguer and bail out. But he didn't. And I'm sure he had people in his life, in his ear, telling him, give up on it, dude. It's not going to happen. Don't piss away your life. Learn a trade, get a job, do something else. But he believed in himself and he practiced and stuck with it. And now he's on the verge of becoming the #1 best baseball player on the whole frickin' planet. Why? He didn't give up. He kept working at it. So, I can't promise anyone you're going to be National League MVP. I'd like that too. But we can certainly break out of our old stories. We can certainly move ahead. And it's also, for all of us, it's not going to be a linear upwards process. So after I had my first miracle happen with Terry, it's not like nothing bad ever happened to me. I still had stuff happen. I still took steps back. I still made mistakes. But on the whole, I was moving forward. So I hope that makes sense. And some of you will get great results very quickly. Typically, when we do the live trainings, you'll see anywhere from a quarter to a third of the students receive some kind of miraculous healing on the very first day. That's kind of typical, 25, 30%. Some classes, it's been as high as 60%. Others, it may be lower, around 10%. Again, we want to remember, we don't get to pick the miracles, they pick us. So no one can guarantee a certain miracle on a certain timetable, but they will happen. And the more trainings you do, the more you practice, the more you work with me, the more you work on yourself, the more you come to practice groups, the more you really study awakening and embody this stuff, do the movement, the better your chances. Just like my son is in Little League, and this was his first year. And when we started the season, he was absolutely terrible. Why? He had never played organized sports before. But at 8, he wanted to play Little League, and he was absolutely terrible. And he got teased, and the other kids even tried to get him kicked off the team. But I told him, I said, RJ, don't worry about that. You're going to practice more than anyone else on the team and work harder than anyone else on the team. And I told him, if you do this, I guarantee you will not be the worst player by the end of the year. And he wasn't. He got much better. He won most improved player. Was he the best player on the team by the end? No, he wasn't. But he went from being the worst to maybe somewhere middle of the pack, which is huge. And the kids started being nice to him. He made friends. And the point being, it would have been really easy for him to quit at the beginning. His first 4 games, all he did was strike out. I think it wasn't until his 5th game that he finally got on base. And so for a lot of us, turning our lives around is like that. You may be striking out a lot. It doesn't mean you'll never get through it. The only question is, are you going to give up before you get there? He never asked to quit. If he had, we would have, talked him through it. And if he really, really wanted to quit, we would have let him. But he didn't quit. He just kept practicing. And so, I'm confident everyone can do the same. Okay, for anyone that wants the Theta Brainwaves download, it should be on your webcast. You should see 2 buttons. One should say, yes, transform my life. That's to register for the weekend intensive. So if you want to make a huge difference in your life, there's your chance. I'll also just mention that I've been doing this for 15 years. Please don't kid yourself and think you're going to come back later. Nobody ever does. I've done literally hundreds of events like this, sometimes in live rooms, sometimes in webinars. I've taught like 200 weekend seminars of different kinds over, the last 20-ish years or so. Don't kid yourself. By the time the next healathon comes around, you'll have listened to 25 more interviews and webinars, and someone who's much slicker than me, who has, a really finely developed marketing funnel, will probably take your money. And I have people come to me all the time and say, oh my God, Brent, I feel so awful. I should have done your program. Instead, I went and spent $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 on this other thing. and now I'm so disappointed and I don't have any money. I'm like, well, sorry, right? Can't make me accountable for that, right? So no one comes back later. Well, I shouldn't say no one. It's very rare. So, you can make your commitment now and, start the process. Or, if this isn't right for you, don't do it. Pretty simple. Awesome. Good to hear. Yeah, Surya. So, yeah, you're an engineer. No surprise. You probably know you're stuck deep in your head. That's the reason you've been struggling. And being in your head is a synonym for being disconnected from the quantum field. So I'm not surprised. Okay, request for healing from Mark, for Lillian. Oh, Susie. Okay, I just see Evan on the broadcast. Oh, thank you, Susie. All right. I think I answered everyone's questions. I do want to give everyone a chance. If you have any questions that I have not answered or a request for healing, go ahead and put it into the chat room. And I'm going to give everyone just a minute here. I'm going to answer any last minute questions, and then we're going to do our healings. Then we're going to do the radiation clearing. So this is how it's going to work. First, I'm going to, once I make sure there's no more questions, I'm going to do everyone's healings in sequence. I can do it pretty fast, but there's a lot of requests, so it'll probably take me, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes tops. I want to let you know, as long as you see the slide, I'm still here, right? I cannot speak when I'm holding a deep theta state. So I'm going to say, hey, I'm starting the healings. I'll let you know when we're done. If you are listening, whether live or on the recording, here's what I want you to do. Just relax, close your eyes, and be silent. If you don't, you will interfere with your healing. So just for a couple minutes, please don't be watching TV or checking your phone or responding to Facebook or whatever, right? Just for a few minutes. Please close your eyes and be silent. Again, probably 2-3 minutes is what I expect. Might go up to 5. I'm going to do all the healings on everyone. After that, I'm going to do the radiation clearing process. And so for that, when we start it, I'll ask for permission. And then I'm going to do a clearing on everyone in their phone. During the weekend intensive, I'm not only going to show you how to do this, but I'm going to walk you through the whole process of how to use the applied kinesiology to test so you can actually feel how your phone's making you weak. And then we're going to teach you how to do the clearing, and you're going to do the clearing on yourself and your phone. And then I'm going to give everyone a chance to check afterwards to see that you're now strong. It's a pretty remarkable thing. I'm not going to do that here because I know it's very late on the East Coast, especially in Europe or India. It's like ridiculously late or early in the morning. And I don't want to keep you guys on for too long. So we're just going to do the clearing part now. If you already know how to do the muscle testing, go ahead and test yourself with your phone on your chest. You'll see it makes you go weak. And then after we do the clearing, you can test yourself again. It will not make you weak. You'll be strong. But again, during the weekend, I'm not only going to show you how to do it and walk you through it. You actually get to do it on yourself and your phone. And we'll do the applied kinesiology before and after, and you can actually feel the difference. And it's pretty amazing. I actually did this a week and a half ago with one of my CrossFit coaches. That he had said a couple derisive remarks about energy healing, and I said, well, do you realize that your energy field has a big impact on athletic performance? And he thought I was full of crap. And I said, okay, let's do this. And I had him put his arm up, and he was really strong. It's the dude snatches like 285 pounds, right? This ridiculously strong fit guy. And then I had him hold his phone to his chest, and he couldn't keep his arm up. He was like, what the hell, man? What's wrong with me? I was like, dude, it's just the phone is screwing up your energy field. And then I cleared it, and he'd stayed strong. Now, he wasn't a good candidate for the training, too skeptical, right? Too mainstream. But even someone that totally doesn't believe in this work and is ridiculously strong was made weak by the phone. And that's what we're going to clear for you. So anyhow, let me just double check I'm not missing any questions. Okay, request for healing from Sharon. Sure, Linda. Yeah, I'll do your laptop. Good for you not having a phone. I think these things are a huge pain in the ass. Somehow humans survive for thousands of years without cell phones. And I'm in the minority. Like when I go to my CrossFit gym, I almost never bring my phone. Like, why in the world would you bring your phone to the gym? And there's like, a bunch of 20 somethings that every time we have a 2 minute break to get water, they're running over and checking their phone. I'm just like, you can wait till the end, right? When I'm at the gym, my phone goes off unless there might be some kind of emergency. I don't even bring it. But that's just me. Maybe I'm a little old-fashioned. No problem if you love your phone. I certainly don't mind. But yeah, sure. And during the weekend, um, we're going to show you how to do the clearing process that you can use on any kind of electronics. And even if all you took away was the space clearing process and the radiation clearing, that alone can change your life. For some of you building businesses, one of your obstacles may be there's bad energy in your office or where you're working. That alone can wipe you out. Good news is, we'll take about 20 minutes on the weekend. We'll show you how to clear it every couple days for the whole rest of your life. It will take you maybe 30 seconds. And most people can see the change with their eyes immediately. And you can feel it in your body. You've all been to places that have good and bad energy, right? It's simple. We'll show you how to change the energy, make it good. Now, please don't take that as I'm promising you if you clear your space, your business will make $1 million tomorrow. It might, but that's probably not the only challenge, right? Probably not your only obstacle, but that's one. Got requests for healing from Nancy, from Lisa, and from Sharon. Okay, awesome. So we're going to launch in and do the healings. Again, I encourage you to just close your eyes and be silent. Just remember that you'll get a much more powerful result if we do some block clearing ahead of time in private sessions, or if you learn how to do it at the training and do it yourself or in the practice groups. So, I just don't want you to think it's garbage if you don't get an incredible result from tonight. But I am going to do the best we can, and I have seen plenty of miracles happen at the healathons. I really have. So, it doesn't mean you can't. I just want you to know the truth and what to do to move forward if you don't get all the results you're looking for. So, all right, here we go. So I'm going to go quiet for a couple minutes. I encourage you, close your eyes, be silent, and here we go. All right, all finished. So if anyone experienced something during the healings, please let us know in the chat room. All right, awesome. So let's finish with our radiation clearing. Before we go, just remember, button is on your webcast for Yes Transform My Life. Some of the extra bonuses will be disappearing. So if you register later, it'll cost you a couple $100 more. You won't get as many bonuses. So, now's your chance. Would love to have you join us. If you do, I think you will be completely blown away. And of course, you're protected by the 100% money back guarantee. Remember, you have to come to the first day, right? If you give it a shot, you don't like it, no problem. You can keep all the bonuses, get all your money back. It hasn't happened in a while. It's been over a year. But, that's there to protect you. And, I think you'll be blown away. I think you're going to love it. So let's go ahead and do the radiation clearing. So again, would encourage you to just close your eyes and be silent. This one should go faster. This shouldn't take more than a minute or so. So here we go. All right, we are all set. So for those of you that know how to do the arm lever muscle test, you can go check yourself with your phone, your laptop. It should no longer make you go weak. Now, the radiation will build up again. This is something you need to do every now and then. Every day is probably more than enough. I would say once a month is probably sufficient. You do this once a month, you're probably good to go. The exception would be if you suffer from EMF sensitivity. This might be a good idea to do every day because, a much smaller amount of radiation will impact you. So if that's your issue, I would encourage you to do it every day. For everyone else, once a month is probably fine. All right, awesome. So last chance for questions. Last chance for anybody that wants to register. And remember, I am giving away not only the entire weekend, but a free retake, as well as the full recording and the manual and all the bonuses, and 90 days in the VIP club. 90 days of practice groups, 90 days of Q&A calls, 90 days of support, 90 days of practice with partners, 90 days of master classes, 90 days of demonstration private sessions. Heck, a lot of you may win a free private session with me during those 90 days. In fact, I think in the VIP club, a lot of people don't apply every month because they assume they're not going to win. We had someone just last month that had been in the VIP club for 6 weeks, and they won a free hour with me. So there is a very real chance you could win a free hour private session with me. And again, all this stuff is included. No extra charge. So awesome. Thank you for the endorsement for the practice groups. I think they are amazing. Just so everyone knows, when I was coming up through the ranks, right, tens of thousands of dollars in debt, surviving on disability, I was paying $140 a month just for the weekly practice groups. And that was almost 20 years ago. I'm offering them for 3 months free, included in this program. I think it's a no-brainer. So, a huge thank you to everybody that will be joining us for the weekend. Again, the only reason I can do this is because of people like you that come to my trainings, that book me for privates, that buy my processes and buy the programs. Just so you know, when you buy them through like KPFK, I don't get anything there. That all goes to the radio station. So, if you want to learn straight from the source, here I am. And don't expect this will be around forever, because I'm actually working to move away from these courses. Now that I've been doing this for so long, and I'm the only one in the world with permission to teach the high-level work, that's where I want to focus my time. And so over the next few years, I do have a plan to transition out of these weekend intensives and focus just on my advanced group, just the Awakening Intensive and the most advanced work. So, now's your chance if you want to learn it. I am the only classes I will promise you I'm going to teach pretty much entirely myself will be June and September. After that, I'm planning on bringing on some of my students, and little by little, making them take over more and more of it until I'm just doing the advanced stuff. But, now's an opportunity. So thank you, everyone, for coming out to the healathon. If you know of anyone that missed it tonight, but you think they might be interested, make sure you send them the link to my website, awakeningdynamics.com. And if they get on by tomorrow, they will get the replay link sent to them. So don't wait. It'll go out sometime tomorrow. But let them know tonight. Anyone that gets on, you'll get the replay link tomorrow. And, as always, I hope you found this event to be some combination of entertaining, transformational, and educational. And for those that are registering for the weekend, you'll get a file that will have a link. You just click the link, put in the simple password. It'll have all the information about the live training, the link for the live sessions, the link for the recordings, the explanation of the technology. We have a test broadcast we do ahead of time to work out any technical issues. You'll get the link to download the manual, all the materials, all the bonuses, everything. So it should be available for you immediately after you register. It will also be sent to you in email. And just in case you missed those two, I will be personally contacting everyone in the group from my personal email just to make sure you have everything and make sure we have all your contact info correct. I am going to go the extra mile. I'll get on the phone to call you if I have to. I have some people that registered at one of my meetups last week that their emails bounced. So, I'm calling them and texting them personally. And, I just don't know how easy that is to find, that you get direct access right to the master who's willing to work with you in small groups for a very, very low price, because I really want you to learn the stuff. So anyhow, good night to everyone. Thank you. Take care, and namaste.